Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Juice is Loose podcast. Had to get Trevor shut up.
I didn't know he started.
But yeah, we don't have I don't really have anything set topics. A few bits of news came out. I guess we'll just start with the Splatfest. Since I'm 3-0 in the Splatfest, 4-0 if you count the beta, the demo, the test player one. But interesting fact, last week I was praising how well it ran. We were playing with Clocked It and Wales and everything was smooth. Well, this Splatfest was a nightmare for me. I only played 14 matches, lost 9 out of the 14. Majority of the time was waiting for a match. Twice it timed out. Then I couldn't connect. I don't know what was going on. Comcast actually just bumped up my internet to I'm getting 75 plus down, and then 12 to 15 uploads. So my internet got better, and yet this Splatfest was the worst experience I've had with Splatoon 2 on the Switch so far. And I expected Vampire to be like 90% to 10 the way it was, how long it was taking to find a match. I don't know if you guys had any problems, but I just thought Vampire's dominated. And then it's 54-46. Like it shouldn't have been a 1-2 minute wait in between each match. So something was going on for me. I don't know if you guys experienced anything. I was frustrated, and I still was on the winning team. I only won 5 matches out of the 14 I played, and it was tough. So, anyone have any other experience and maybe a positive one?
Mine's is more mediocre because I was on Team Werewolf. For some reason, all this shit loving from Marina, and like she's lost like the last 2 Splatfests. So what the fuck? But yeah, I got all the way up to what is it, Queen, I believe. So I played it pretty consistently. I will say this was I could never get a string more than like maybe 3 matches in a row of playing consistently without the connection dropping at some point. I played a little bit that morning, and then I played the rest of it like towards the end of the Splatfest. It wasn't like terrible, but I noticed that I was consistently every 2 to 3 matches, the connection would drop, or it'd be like booting you back, or we could connect to the other player's console or some shit.
I've seen that too.
And I think it crashed in the middle of a game like once, where like all the players disappeared and said connection is unstable. But it was pretty mediocre for me overall.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that somebody else had the same problem. But it sucks for Nintendo. I wonder if it's just because it was more appealing of a Splatfest, so maybe more people were playing. But then they kind of split up Europe and the US, where the first 2 I think were just kind of it was kind of region free with the first 2 Splatfests, and then Europe got their crappy one last week, Retro?
Yeah, last week or the week before that. Like, what the fuck, I mean, come on, you guys got like werewolves and vampire shit. We got like how the fuck I hang my toilet paper up. What is that shit? It felt like Splatoon 1 all over again, where we got like, I don't know, sleeping or dancing. You guys got like fucking Decepticons and Autocons and shit. Like, what is it? We're getting screwed with Splatfest again.
Yeah, I don't know if they did it just for time, because it's like, so it's not so late for you guys, so that's why
my theory is that I think probably by now Splatoon is getting so big on the Switch that they have to separate people again, because else it's getting just overloaded. I think that's it. But still, come on, toilet paper, what is that?
You should at least get the same one maybe the next week or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, because who uses toilet paper the underway? Like, come on, that's just.
We're not gonna have the discussion, damn it. We're not doing it.
We're
not doing it.
We got to call out Robert, because Pearl had, 54 to 46 popularity vote. You said that would never happen. So.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is from the guy who hasn't even played the game in a while.
I'm gone for like a week of no Splatfest, and all of a sudden Pearl. It's Pearl, right? I forgot their names already.
The way the results are, it's like, oh, popularity. Oh, won the most solo matches. Oh, won the most team matches. What's the result? Surprise. Vampire 3-0. Like, the way you score it, they tell us right away. Like, tell us who won and then break down.
Yeah.
Because before you never knew what determined the actual winner in the first game. And it's like, it's retarded. I don't get it. Like, just show the winner and then break it down. It makes no sense. It's already spoiled. As soon as I saw the first two went to Pearl, and then the third one, I was like, well, it's over. That she won. You know, it's like it's kind of silly that they still think that to do it that way. But T, did you get a chance to represent Team Vampire? Or?
I sure did, and I was beasting. You know, we won most of our matches that I was in, so I completely understand why Team Vampire did their thing.
I thought for sure we were losing based on my playtime.
No, I was, you know, I'll probably put up some gameplay or whatever, but we did well. The teams I was on, we did pretty well, so not surprised. And yeah, you think just because Marina is a little cuter, is she gonna get a pass? It ain't about her. It's about the topic, whatever the. Yeah, that's not
being
gonna
a werewolf is objectively better. I'm gonna throw that out there right now.
Nah, bro, you crazy. You crazy.
I ain't crazy. Fuck that shit.
What's so cool about being a werewolf? Besides you lose your draws and you don't even know what happened.
You get jacked.
They're crazy that way. It's like it's the worst thing in the world. Hey man, at least I can walk out in the sun. That's automatic.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. The sun's overrated.
Here's what I can say about werewolf. The only, in my opinion, the best werewolf transformation put on film is in the movie Van Helsing. So that tells you how great werewolves have been in movies.
Well, I mean, maybe CG.
My
I would
favorite is from Underworld, the first Underworld movie.
Really? Underworld's my
They
favorite.
used stop motion and suits. That was so well done.
They look terrible.
It's out of two movies for me: American Werewolf in London and my God, I just said it, Silver Bullet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those weren't bad for the time. I don't know if they hold up as well.
They probably don't hold up as well today.
I think American Werewolf in London
holds up. Yeah, I bet that.
Yeah, I think that one holds up really well.
Me and my buddy were just talking about Silver Bullet on Sunday, or Saturday. We're like, man, love that movie as kid, scared the shit out of us. Tried to watch it recently, and it's like, what the hell is this? Like, it's totally aged.
I watched it maybe 7 years ago. I still liked it. I thought it was cool.
It's still a decent movie, but it's like, man, it hasn't aged well in a lot of other ways.
Well, Gary Busey.
Yeah.
Uncle Gary Busey.
Yeah, I mean, we got vampire movies, got Lost Boy, like Clocked It said. That's a great
Lost
movie.
Boys.
Blade. They'll probably remake Lost Boys like they did Flatline.
I hope they better not. They better not just Lost Boys.
It's like, why remake a movie that it's like you're not, especially like Flatliners. There's no like, oh my God, it's Flatliners. Like no one that saw that movie back in the day cares about it now, and like, so none of the young people know what it is, and it's just And if they do that to Lost Boys, unless they they'd have to, somebody would have to helmet that's really a great director or something, but not to get off on a movie.
Let's not do that.
But anyway, there's been a lot more quality vampire movies, I feel, than werewolf. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because vampires are cooler, so it's all good.
Don't want to hear that shit.
They can seduce, they can seduce women.
The ladies,
hell is fuck. Fucking dead. I don't want to hear that shit.
They live forever. I mean, come on.
Besides, werewolves are superhuman anyway. I gain superhuman abilities. I don't hear that.
Werewolf, you shoot them with some silver, they're done. They're done.
Open a window and you're dead. I don't hear that.
It's like when you're a vampire, you get to live in a castle. When you're a werewolf, once per month, you're screwing dogs.
You can't control anything you do.
You have no control. You don't know what's happening. It's whack. We win.
Anyway, it was a cool Splatfest. Of course, Nintendo has to make it the lamest icons ever for each one. It's like it turned into Halloween costumes. Like here's a a kid in a vampire costume. Here's a kid in a werewolf costume. How about just actually have really cool vampire?
A wolf in come on, come on. They can put a little, even a Count Chocula like vampire Dracula face or whatever, and then just like a werewolf or a wolf head. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was pretty lame.
Yeah,
that's Nintendo being Nintendo.
You don't want to offend nobody.
Mm-hmm. You don't want, what a vampire is pretty simple. For the most part, Dracula is pretty recognizable in even a cartoon form. But anyway, let's see. What else? What do you guys want to talk about next? Terrell, you got a topic you want to hit? I got some. I just want to see if you have.
I got Samuel Claiborne.
I got just in this. What you want to talk about? Come on, guys.
Samuel Claiborne replying to me over here on IGN. That was pretty funny.
Which one's he?
He's the one with the silly mustache.
Oh yeah,
the one who did the review for Star Fox 2.
Oh him.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I was just told him that was a stupid review. It's stupid. To review a game that basically came out in 1996. It just didn't come out, and to review it with today's sensibilities was just stupid.
What he said?
He said we don't give cons. I said it was beautiful. It just doesn't run well. Opening line of the video again. Read the review, please. And I'm saying it because he's putting periods behind him like a child before commenting. It's like you have no defense. That was just the stupidest thing ever.
The only way you could review that is like I'm gonna play Star Fox 1 over on the classic, and then play that and see how it compares for.
That's what you should do. Compare it to Star Fox 1. I think that would have been fun because he swears that he loves Star Fox 1. So how can you not look back at that, with the frame rate issues and whatnot? It's silly, man.
And I'm looking at Star Fox 2, and I'm like, where's my Like, I'm not seeing Star Fox in a lot of that footage, like the first person, the crawling around.
It's different. It's definitely different, and that's fine. You want to. You can't say it sucks because it's different, though.
People like to say, you can't judge it because if you're a kid, you wouldn't have liked it. But if I would have had as a kid going from Star Fox on rails to basically open world flying, I didn't know that yet back then. That was amazing.
Yeah, that would have been a cool thing. So it's silly, man. It's a silly all around review.
Yeah, the point of the review's stupid. The score is even more stupid, but. I'm not going to lie, when I saw gameplay of what Star Fox 2 actually is, because I've never looked it up before, because I knew it existed, and I know you had the...
Yeah, I had the repro cartridge of it.
And it's what I don't like about the newer Star Foxes, and I was like, you know what, I don't need a Super NES Mini. I mean, I hate to judge it off of watching somebody else play it, but it definitely... If it was just like a basic sequel on rails, like more what I loved... And maybe I'd end up liking it. I don't know, but it just doesn't look like the Star Fox I wanted it to be. So
you gotta give it a chance, man. You can't just shut down. You can't. It's definitely different. Obviously, it's different from the first one, but it was pretty ambitious for what they were trying to do. And the only reason they didn't put it out is because the Saturn had came out, PlayStation had came out, and it just wouldn't have looked as cool.
Yeah, I'm thinking they didn't put it out just because how I don't know. The Star Fox 1 had frame rate dips too.
Yeah, they both had.
I think it was. They were like, yeah, this is not, the quality we want it to be, and this N64 is about to come out.
Yeah, and Star Fox 64 came out a year after it would have came out, so it was just like, why even put it out? So it makes sense. But he was trying to say that they canceled it because it sucked. That's basically what he was saying. I'm like, what? How can you even say that? Like, what information that you have that nobody else has? Like, come on.
I mean, after seeing it, that was kind of my thought. I ain't gonna lie. I didn't know he said that, but that was when I saw it.
That's the thing, though. You have this is the first time you're seeing it. Or whatever.
Yeah, but if I had seen it back then, I probably would have been like, "Oh, that looks awesome."
Right? You would have thought differently. So the point is, don't review the damn thing. You can't review it fairly at this point. So
let's talk about reviews real quick because Edge magazine, was this a news story last week or was this recent?
A couple days ago.
I don't think we talked about it.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is that Edge magazine did. They had to delay their magazine because they had a review for Super Mario Odyssey and gave it a 10. And you've seen people, and I forget who made a video trying to prove this point about Nintendo games not getting good reviews. Like someone's like, "Oh, it's only getting a good review because it's Nintendo and it's nostalgia. It's Mario." So was it Doc Trey? Somebody made a video and they showed like Mario Tennis, Ultra Smash, Animal.
Yeah, I think that was Trey's video.
A bunch of terrible. All he had to do was look to the same fucking issue and see that they gave Samus Returns a 6 out of 10. That's all he had to do to say, "Oh, Nintendo, what's their big three? Metroid, Mario, Link, Zelda."
Well, I don't know. People would say Metroid is big three, but okay.
I mean, I don't know. I'm talking
Star Fox,
Nintendo, not.
Star Fox didn't get good reviews.
I'm not talking about like Pokemon and stuff because that's. I mean, they own that, but it's not. I'm talking about like Nintendo main IPs. Maybe not anymore, but for a lot of people, I think, and this like longtime Nintendo fans, I think Metroid, Zelda, and Mario.
Yeah, those
like
were the ones
top
people
3,
recognized.
and not just for sales, but like quality and stuff.
Kirby.
So Samus Returns gets a 6 in that same issue. Yet people are calling foul on that 10, saying, you know, it's because it's nostalgia, it's Mario. Like, they can't just accept. And I've done this because I've played Uncharted now. I feel like people give it 10s when it doesn't deserve it, and I'm sure people, Sony fans that don't like Nintendo, maybe aren't. You know, it's kind of like me with Naughty Dog and Uncharted. They're probably just in the same boat, but
it doesn't deserve 10s. You're right. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Uncharted, and I can say that it don't deserve no 10. Like, it's a really good game, high production value, but you're doing the same thing through the whole game. There's no progression. There's no nothing.
Yeah, it's like, but you know, I wasn't surprised by a 10 for Odyssey. In just from what I've seen so far, I'm expecting it to be pretty damn good. So, what any of you guys surprised by the 10? You think there's gonna be a lot more 10s? You think it's a sign of things to come with that game? Then the fact that in the same magazine, a Samus Returns, which got a 6, which is absolutely ridiculous to me.
Yeah, glossed over that one. No nostalgia with Metroid, I guess.
Even though it's more nostalgia than Mario because it's been forever since we had a 2D.
Right, we've been starving for it. You think they would be forced almost, to give it a better score, but they obviously didn't. So
it's interesting they gave that a 6. So I mean, I totally disagree with that. I don't even see.
I
don't see how a 6 is even remotely a possibility with that game having.
I can see how, but that's. I
mean, 6 has got to be a pretty bad.
Listen, I don't agree with the 6, Juice. I'm just saying I can understand how.
The only thing I could say is the circle pad being a pain in the ass, but didn't really hinder the game much. I mean, a few moments in the game out of 14, 15 hours.
I'll put it this way: Do you think that Metroid Samus Returns, the way it plays, is a little bit too complicated for the buttons control scheme it currently has?
No.
Okay, see, I could. That's where I could.
I love the button control scheme. Actually, it's by far the best. They've never given you the option to free aim.
Well, let me take that back. Maybe if you're not a fan of Metroid games, you could probably give it a 6.
Yeah.
Maybe I can go with that.
I don't know. It's got amazing production value. It's got like visuals, music.
It's running on the
combat.
3DS hardware. And, maybe I could see it from somebody who's probably not a fan of Metroid giving it a 6.
Well, that and I've heard people's biggest complaint is partially with the melee counter, where people like it, but they hate how overused it is because it kind of kills the flow of the game. Because the melee counter requires you to stop, wait until the enemy attacks you for you to practically get it off.
Yeah. If you gotta wait, then
don't use it.
You're playing Metroid wrong. Like, I'm either running past them or walking.
Well, I'm just saying I'm just talking about design philosophy.
Yeah,
like the way you're supposed to do it.
Retro's personally having mic issues because I don't hear him.
Yeah, I can't hear you either, Retro.
I can't hear you, man.
Reset, man, reset.
But all right, he's got to jump out, get back in. So
okay.
For me, like, I don't even know if I'd give Ratchet and Clank on the PS4, which I thought was pretty mediocre, a 6. Like, that's probably like 6.57. It's crazy. Yeah. I know everyone's different on their scales, but I mean, it's just crazy to me. But I don't know, anybody else? Who else here? Robert, you didn't play Samus Returns. Oh, Retro's probably trying to tune in on that topic, so we'll get back to it when he gets back in. So Mario getting a 10 goes with Breath of the Wild. There's 2 10s from Edge, which is only their 20th.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Here we go.
Yeah.
You got any thoughts on Metroid getting a 6?
Yeah, I just wanted to say because at first I thought nobody would get what I was saying. No, I want to say because what Terrell said, like, even if it would have the shittiest controls on the planet, just that can't give it a 6. I heard you saying like the music and everything and the way it looks and the way it feels, the 3D and the way it plays. It's one of those a while back, a long time ago, I made a video about remakes and remasters. So this is the perfect example of that. No way, in any way, even if you're the biggest hater, does this game deserve a 6?
Yeah.
I just finished it. I 100%ed it, and like it played even the counter which you brought up, which I said in the beginning, which I fucking hated. Like Ju said, very soon I didn't even need to use that anymore. I had all these extra weapons and everything. So even I think just a 6, it's like I don't want to bring this dude up because he's absolute trash. But even fucking Blackbond wouldn't give it a 6.
I wouldn't say that, but okay.
Now he reviewed it and everything. He really liked the game. That's what I mean. You can be the biggest hater.
Okay.
It does not deserve a 6. It's bullshit.
And not to talk about Blackbond for much, but the dude's had a 3DS since pretty much it came out. Shit on the Wii U for whatever, but to still be against, I don't know if he has a Switch or not, but like,
No, I know he doesn't.
Are you fucking kidding me? You've enjoyed your 3DS all this time. In the Switch's first year, all these games that have come out, you didn't have a Wii U, so you can't. All these games are new. The couple games that were already on the system, and it's just like, I just don't understand that mindset. But anyway, that's all the time he gets.
Yeah. I was about to say, I don't know if you knew he borrowed a Wii U to play Xenoblade.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he borrowed a Wii U just to play Xenoblade, and then he gave it right back when he was done.
I mean, come on.
Let's move on.
I bought a PS4 to play Grad Rush 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, you're an adult, you got money, you buy a system for, if there's even one game, you buy a system for it. But anyway, so Mario getting a 10, Zelda getting a 10. First, 8 months the system's been out, and obviously Edge is only one magazine, but they're pretty tough on Nintendo usually. Like I said, it's only 20th 10 they've ever given, ever. And the Switch has got 2 of them in the first 8 months. It's crazy to think about that.
As it's what I said earlier, it's not just that like people might claim, oh yeah, but you're going for Nintendo games like super quality, but every single month we're getting a major game. It's like they're giving us and the quality and the quantity. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And it's not like the other games we're getting super low scores. I know Splatoon probably, I thought, got a little lower than it should have. ARMS was a little lower, probably like a point lower, I think, than it deserved. But there hasn't been any like terrible games. They've all been good or great. And the fact, like, I don't know, Game Awards don't mean shit, especially the last few years. It's been terrible to watch. But if the Switch and Nintendo if they're ignored, or something else gets Game of the Year like this year, it's just for them trying to get like.
I mean, the Game Awards is a joke anyway. Like, if I'm not holding out hope that they win Game of the Year, even though obviously they should. Because I just think that whole production is a sham to begin with.
It is.
But yeah, I mean, like a 10, people, 10 doesn't mean perfect game. To me, a 10 means like genre defining, or just the best in that genre. Like it is the epitome of that genre. And I mean, nobody can touch Nintendo when it comes to platforms anyway. And so I'm not surprised that this, because it's what everybody wanted, for the longest, as far as Mario games go. Like we wanted a return to 64 Sunshine. Boom, got that. And it has all these love letters from other games. It has Donkey Kong in there. Like, it has all this cool stuff on top of everything. I mean, Nintendo already perfected the 3D platform anyway, and now they're just having fun. They're just like, we're gonna merge everything that's great about this genre and give it to them in one game, and that's why it gets a 10.
I mean, I'm playing Zelda last night, and I got 3 Divine Beasts down. I got 85 shrines on my second playthrough. I just got to Death Mountain. Gonna get all that done, and I'm still taking screenshots of things that are just blowing me away still. And there's Sidekicker in the live chat just basically ripping the game, pointing out all these negatives, and I'm just like, hey, that's whatever. That's your experience. But that game to me is an all time. Like I said, it's game of the lifetime, really. And
I mean, because he's judging it on other Zelda games, and that's kind of not fair because it's trying to be something different. It's the point of this game. It's the point of Breath of the Wild is that it's trying to be
like laughing during combat, like of the things that are happening, the AI and stuff. It still gets me. It's
the combat has never been better in a Zelda game out of this game. You can't tell me I'm wrong about that. That is just you can't tell me the AI has ever been better in a Zelda game.
And I don't know too many games that have had AI that's
or any game. You know, I was just saying Zelda, but like this game is just greatness in so many different ways.
But Mario's going to be greatness on probably a completely different. It's going to have a completely different feel. You're not going to feel like, oh, I'm playing Zelda. Like it's going to be great for maybe completely opposite reasons. I don't know. Without having played it, it looks like it's gonna be so much variety, so much like unique and new ideas. And I try not to watch anything. I see little clips or a little GIF here on Twitter, and I'm like, seriously, that's in the game? Like, there's so much stuff in Mario that 600 moons or 400?
I heard 600 collectibles. I heard.
I thought
it was like almost 900 or something. With
the main moons. I think the main moons, which are like the stars, but it doesn't kick you out every time you get one. And some of them are just kind of hidden. They're almost like the main flagpole or the power stars mixed with the green stars from 3D World. It's like everything kind of mixed together. Like there's gonna be
Galaxy 2. Remember when they had the green power stars after the 100?
Oh god,
you had to find them.
Those were a pain. I never got all those. I ain't gonna lie. But
I don't say I don't want Cooper to think we're ganging up or anything. That's your opinion. That's completely fine. That's how you feel about the game.
Yeah, it's the truth for you. It's the truth for me. It's.
I just want to say because like in the comments it always seems more dramatic than it is, but because I agree with him on the point that Zelda for me is not a perfect 10. It's like a 9.5 up or something because just the few things that bother me are just enough to not be able to give it a perfect 10. I think that's how he means it too. But yeah, if you just point out the negative, you're going to assume that's all he feels about the game. I'm pretty sure he still likes it. It's just like there's a couple of things that I can't give it a 10 for.
Well, no game can get a 10 under those circumstances. So that's just the point. Like that's what I said. A game getting a 10, it's not about it being perfect. It's about it moving the genre. It's about
he was more than just trying to talk it down from a 10. It's pretty much sound like a bad game based on that. So that's why I was commenting. So I don't know if he wants to say actually give it a score rating or something for him, give us a little more. So it just doesn't sound like it's like someone just hating on every aspect of it. But that's just for people in the live chat. I'm just curious what his actual thoughts are overall if he had to score it, just because it's like, man, there's that. Like I couldn't even make up 3 major complaints when I did my little video. I did 5 things I don't love about it, and really I couldn't even. Most of them were like, I don't want to play anything else. That was a negative.
Having dungeons and having underwater sequences and caves, because that was one of the things I wished it had.
Those were some of my main complaints, exactly.
But I can't like knock it for not having that, because the game that was there was greatness. Like it just like, oh yeah, you can take any game and say, oh, it would have been better if they had this and this and this. And
it's still one of my top 3 favorite Zeldas, without a doubt. But I love the dungeon aspect, and when I think of playing the game, I think of all the great times I've had, all the shit you can do like this with the AI and the traveling. Like I've had adventures already in that game. It's been out only a couple of months, but every time I came to a beast, I had the same sinking feeling again. Oh, great, this looks exactly the same. Stupid boss fight again, and that just breaks it. And that is worth half a point for me, just because that broke it every time I got to a beast. And then by the 3rd time, I knew, great, I'm gonna get like the 4th thing again. It's gonna be the same bullshit again, and it breaks it. You know, that costs it half a point for me. And like you said, when you have a game that is so much about exploration, which does it perfectly, perfect exploration. To not have underwater sequences, which is something I was waiting for, being able to dive underwater caves, finding some shit there and shit, or random caves in the wall, like Twilight Princess had basically bigger caves, and it's a little bit too much for me to not give it a 10.
Yeah, I honestly didn't even look at what wasn't there, like compared to Zelda's or any other game. I just kind of judged it on what I had, and like I said, to each their own. But let's get back to Mario, which comes out in not even 2 weeks, which is freaking awesome. The demo station at my Best Buy was put up, but it wasn't turned on yet. Terrell, you got to play it. Robert's got to play it. So, Terrell, what'd you think, having played whatever bit you got to play of Super Mario Odyssey?
It's the what's it called? Tostarena, the desert world. And it's weird because it's the whole fucking world. Like, it's not like you get a few moons and it's over. It's like you can play almost the whole. It has like a time limit, so you can get as far as you can possibly get in it, and then it'll cut you off after a certain amount of time. Be like, thanks for playing. I'm not the biggest authority on Mario games. For those who don't know that, I've always been a Sonic guy more than a Mario guy.
Wow.
But
so take this with a grain of salt, people.
Yeah. But I really like I like the mobility in the game. And for those new players who don't know all Mario's moves, if you hit the start button, they actually tell you how to do the long jump and shit. So if there's any inexperienced players when they get the game, they'll be fine on that part. Anyways, it was. I think I did the main mission where you can get all the way up to the top, and then you grab the moon off of that, and then the second part of it starts where you're on those little floating platforms, and they drop down. And you can possess the tiki heads that can put on the shades and take off their shades, and you can see things that you normally couldn't see. I got to about that part, and then that's when the demo ended, and children were trying to kick me off of it. I actually like the controls. I wanted to try both. Because they have the Joy-Con separately, and then they also have them in the grip. I tried them in the grip just because I didn't know how long I'd be able to play it. In the grips, it's fun. I really wanted to try the flicking for the hat mechanic, but the controls are tight. I like the versatility in his moveset. I had to get used to playing a Mario game because I haven't played a Mario game since 3D World. Yeah, so that's been like 4 years. So I'm not super adjusted, but I thought it was really fun personally.
Well, that's good to hear from a Sonic fan. So,
Yeah.
Let's see what Sonic Forces gets from Edge magazine in a couple weeks, probably.
Sonic
Imagine it gets 10 out of 10.
Sonic feces.
Wow, you savage.
I forgot who came up with that, but that was greatness. So
But so you didn't get to play with split Joy-Cons, because I'm kind of wondering, because I'm pretty much my Joy-Cons just sit there and sit on my table. I don't use them unless I'm in portable mode. And,
crazy, man.
So I'm wondering how well it's going to play with just the standard Pro controller versus the hat controls with the motion. So to me that's going to be interesting, and I got to definitely try it both ways to figure out. Like, I thought for sure I was going to play ARMS only with motion controls, and then once I got good with the Pro controller, I couldn't go back. I think Mario might be kind of the same situation, but it'll be interesting. Hopefully the Best Buy gets that demo up and running. They had Nintendo Rep coming out. That was Saturday I was there. So hopefully if it's up, I might try checking it out this week. Or I don't know, I'm just undecided too. Do I want to just wait till I have the game to play it?
It's next week, which is crazy. So.
Yeah.
A week from Friday. So
split Joy-Cons all the way, son. That's what I'm doing.
I honestly
that's how I played.
I kind of gave up on the whole split Joy-Cons. I kind of liked it as my second option, but I have not messed with the game that way in months.
You ain't getting your HD rumble on. Yeah.
I know. I did. I was playing fast in portable mode, and that HD rumble's like, holy crap! But that game's nearly unplayable in portable mode.
Yeah, I can't play it that way.
Sucks, which is what I think Doom's gonna be like. But we can talk about that another day. Robert, you played at E3. You played Mario. Did you play it at the Nintendo World Store at all in New York?
No, they didn't have it when I went, because that's when they changed everything to. Well, they shut down everything, but I don't think they had it already there. It was all the Super Nintendo stuff. They didn't have it Odyssey there.
So I wonder if the build Terrell played was any newer, because I know they bumped up the visuals. Got a bump since E3. Be curious.
Maybe, but I have a feeling it's probably the same demo.
Yeah, it seems like it's the E3 demo.
It seems like that's what they do when they give out demos for like the kiosks. It looks like it's like the same one that they use throughout every event, including the demo kiosk. That's what it looks like. I don't know.
Retro, what's your hype level for Mario at this point?
it's like higher than it was for Zelda, I think.
Wow.
It's simply because, like I said, with Zelda, you kind of expected, once you've seen some of the footage and everything. And with Mario, I've been very strict. I've seen the very, very first trailer. I've seen the little section at the championship, and for the rest, I've seen nothing. I haven't watched anything at all. And with most Nintendo games, like once you put it like on your own TV, it looks even better than you can imagine. So like I can't even begin to imagine how great this game is gonna be. Like there's gonna be all these new things to discover and new controls and new levels. And it's what I said before with a Mario game. The biggest part for me is like experiencing it. That's why I'm avoiding absolutely everything. I want to see for myself and experience it. And with Zelda, you kind of have to get the feeling for the story a little bit, I guess, I feel. So even though, like I said, Zelda's an incredible game, with Mario, it's just the hype level. It's just a bit higher than, especially with a 3D Mario. You don't see them as much as new Zelda games, for example. So I can't even begin to control myself.
And who's is it Commonwealth Realm has those Nintendo history videos? Anybody see those? Where they showed
yeah, Commonwealth Realm, yeah, they're pretty good.
And if that doesn't like point out how little how many or how few 3D Mario games we've had, like if you don't realize it after that, like then because I made a video, one of my first videos was talking about people saying Mario games are milked and Nintendo milks their franchises, and at the time 3D World hadn't been out, 3D Land had just come out, and I think so that made 5 3D Mario games since 96 or 95. When did that 64 come out in the US? 96? I think it was September.
What came out? I'm sorry,
and Mario 64 was that
96.
So from 96 to what 2013 when I made the video,
September.
2012 there'd only been 5, and then we only got one more since then before Odyssey. And it's just like, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, yeah, we got you get 2D Mario games, you get Mario Tennis and Mario Kart and stuff, but for an actual 3D platformer, and then 2 of those are like it was a sequel, but it was a very similar in Galaxy 2. I mean, it wasn't the usual complete 180 from the previous game, and then 3D Land and 3D World were based on the same games. So it's not like we've had a ton, and it's just crazy that's a reason probably I should be more excited for 3D World than Zelda. But I shared this story with, I don't know if I said it on air before when Zelda came out. Like I'm driving around for work in the mornings every day. And for like the whole month before Zelda came out, I was going under the speed limit. Even at a green light, I'm still like slowing down and looking both ways. Like I was going to make sure I was going to be live and not be injured for Zelda to come out. Like I'm not going to miss it. And I remember distinctly this one intersection every morning. I'm just slowing down, looking both ways. I wasn't just going to, it's green, I'm going to go through, because that's, all it takes is somebody running a red light. I've never felt that about anything in my life. And Zelda was that. And Mario's like, I'm really excited about it, but it's not the same. I feel like I've already played the game of a lifetime. So I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, I have that exact same thing with I don't have that with Mario, and I did have it with Zelda. With every Zelda game, I have the exact same thing. I'm like, what if I die now and I don't get to play this game? Like I always think that as well.
Yeah, they're just they're 2 different types of games. There's a lot more because with the Zelda you got the story. With Mario they have little stories, but it's not like a big thing. That's another thing that's cool about the Zelda games, is that you're experiencing like your whole different Link again, and with Mario you're Mario, so you kind of know where you're going to go or what you're going to get with that. But I'm excited to see like the capture mechanics and how crazy that's going to be, like with how is it going to integrate in the gameplay and stuff, because I recently did a video about that, so
I'm just tired. I'm tired of it.
I'm just excited to
I'm so tired.
see all the things I haven't seen because I haven't been watching a ton of stuff. Like I saw a little split second of something. I'm like, I'm not sure what I just saw. I don't know what that thing was. And it looks like you can control it. So it was like a 2-second GIF, and I quickly turned away. I'm like,
The thing that also makes it more exciting, I feel, why I'm more excited for a Mario game is like what T just said with Zelda. You know what you're expecting when it comes to the way this world is structured, the people you're gonna
Right.
meet, some of the lore behind it. With a Mario game, literally everything can happen, and if you don't look at anything of the footage yet, then you don't know what's gonna happen. Like, yeah, the worlds where like everything is giant, or where like where right now we know something's made out of food. You know, like anything can happen, and that's what makes it so exciting.
yeah, I'm gonna share in the chat that Commonwealth Realm history on Mario 64 and Sunshine, because I see a lot of people talking about Sunshine in the chat. What? How many worlds they had to scrap? Like 5, 6, 7? I forget how many. Because they were running out of time. They promised a 2002 release, and then they filled that with those stupid blue coins to fill out the stars to make it 120. And I never even gave two shits about trying to. Once I realized that, let's say, level world 1-1, whatever, however you want to call it, had a name. So you go into that world, and there's like, let's say there's 3 blue coins in the first star, the first level. Then if you go into that same world, but for the second level, the blue coins are in a different spot. So I would have had to have gone back and played every single level, or every single world, every single star challenge over, and scoured the same areas over and over to find them all. And I was like, you know what? I don't even care. And I turned that game off, and I've never turned it on again after I realized that. I beat the game I just remember the frame rate was terrible on the Bowser fight. It was just like so hard to play, and I never looked back. And they've done nothing but greatness since then. So I don't really hold that against the team, and I have no doubts that this Odyssey looks to be the best. From what I've seen, it looks to be the best 3D Mario game, best 3D platformer, which is synonymous.
And because you brought that up earlier, Juice, because you said 3D World, I do not count that as a 3D Mario. To me, that almost felt more like a 2.5D kind of Mario, because it's still like you're very restricted in the platforming. Like, one of my favorite levels, when I got most excited, was this safari plains of tundra thing. I don't know what it was, because you had a giant open field, and that made it feel a little bit like an actual 3D Mario. Like, this is an actual Mario game where you have an open level, you can actually run everywhere you want. And 3D World was just like a 2D platformer with a little bit more freedom than normal.
I always heard that, and it's like the game's fully 3D. There's no reason to turn the camera around with the way the levels were designed. And I don't know, 3D World to me is right. It's between Galaxy 1 and 2 for my all-time favorite Mario game.
Wow, really?
Like, it's that good. I played through it twice.
It is amazing. I totally agree, but I just
get rid of that
Galaxy
timer,
1
and then
and
we can
2.
talk.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Get rid of the timer and give me some more secrets, and then I put it in there.
I don't know. I felt like Galaxy 2's those green star. I thought that was just kind of ridiculously over like difficult.
I actually love those.
Like, you had to,
I
like,
thought it was just so cool to be like, oh my god, there's now even more in these in the
There
sand.
was, but then when you started trying to get them, it's like you have to know how to break the game to get some of these, to get some of them that were up so freaking high. Like, I had to watch videos and like, really, that's a technique you got to do to, like, that's not part of the game that I played. Like,
yeah,
you gotta get good, man. That's all I gotta get good.
yeah, so I have a feeling Odyssey, I'm gonna 100%. Whereas the last time I 100% at a 3D game, well, it was 3D World, but before that was Mario 64. So,
wow.
but it looks awesome, and it's like if they showed a game just like that and said, yeah, this is a PS4 game, it wasn't Mario, you didn't see Mario or something, I think people would believe it. Like, it just looks, I don't know how it can look so good on that tiny little Switch.
It's clean. It's clean, man. As they say.
mean, portable mode's gonna be,
Oh my
it's gonna
gosh.
look amazing. But that's, anybody have any other thoughts on Mario and the score?
The score?
Yeah, like the 10 out of 10. We kind of got away from that part of it.
I thought you meant the music in the game.
Oh, yeah, I haven't really heard, other than the main theme, I don't know much about the score itself.
That's one of my favorite things about Mario games that nobody really talks that much about, is the music and how effortless it feels. Like Mario brings back all these old, like, sounds, these old kind of music genres. Like,
yeah, who cares about like jazz, but in 3D World when you're
Right,
fighting.
it's just it was so cool. It was it sounded perfect for Mario. And in Mario 3, I love the calypso music. Like they just seem to bring out this old music that nobody really listens to anymore, and it just fits perfectly in all these games. And now you have the big band sound in Mario Odyssey, so it's awesome, man.
Yeah, and when you beat 3D World, like that jazz, like extended version of the main theme is like, God, it's so cool.
Remember when we got that in the trailer, and when they played that music? Oh, it was like that game just blew open for everybody. It's like, oh, this is amazing.
But I mean, I guarantee you, most of the people hear jazz and they're like, "Oh, turn the station."
Yeah,
When it's set to what's going on in a Mario game like that, I don't know, it's just one of those things. Like, it fit perfect, and it just felt right to get into that. All right, so I guess the next thing we can talk about, and we were talking about this a lot last week, was just too many games. So they just announced that Doom is coming out. It's November 10th now, so 1 week before Skyrim.
Oh my gosh.
Basically 2 weeks after 3D World, fucking Mario Odyssey, and then Xenoblade Chronicles 2 comes out just like a week and a half or 2 weeks after Skyrim. So it's like, and then we got LA Noire, we got Rocket League still.
God.
So
My dick, man.
have we ever? I mean, try to think of a time where the announcement to the game, and yeah, this is Doom's an old, year and a half old game, or almost 2 years now, I think.
Yeah.
No, year and a half.
A year and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have it a year, and pretty much about next month, I think. So it's not like completely brand new game, but the fact it got announced in September and it's coming out early November, it's crazy that from announcement to release is that close. So what do you think of the release date? I know T, you were definitely getting, I don't know about anybody else. And then what do you think about the little interview they did where they kind of gave them their own little mini direct almost?
Well, me? You're asking me?
Yeah, go ahead. Why don't you go first? Because I know.
Well, first about the release, we all pretty much decided it was going to be December. Nope. Nope. Right, a week before their other big game, the one they put out that we knew before any games, and you're putting this game out before that. That's just crazy to me. But yeah, I mean, my wallet was already in a chokehold anyway, so it ain't gonna make that much of a difference. So, but it's gonna be too many games to play. Like Skyrim will probably definitely sit, at least till, oh my god, Xenoblade Chronicles X. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is coming in. Oh my god, December 1st. Like, it's too much, man. It's too much.
Does anybody?
I don't remember on any console where this was an issue, where it's been this much in this short amount of time that you wanted all these games. Like, that's crazy to me.
I mean, plus the first party games we've gotten.
Right.
It's crazy. Does anybody, before I get your thoughts on the little video they got, there's kind of a little interview thing. Does anybody think that this multiplayer of this game has a chance to like excel with almost no competition on the Switch? I mean, that's the one thing I'm like, man, maybe I will. Maybe I'll consider getting the Switch version just for the multiplayer because it's free online as of right now, and there's really, other than Splatoon 2, there's not going to be anything for people to play, and definitely nothing like this. So I was just like, yeah, maybe.
I was thinking about that.
Might be revitalized.
When I saw that little video, I was like, we were all talking about, well, we probably won't care about the multiplayer, but it's like, why not? Like, we're all, we all game together. Like, that could be a bigger thing on the Switch than anywhere else. The Doom multiplayer.
Do we know how, because you have to download that separately, right? Do we know how big that is?
9 gigs.
9 gigs. Yeah. So that is, I think that is something that will actually do better than I realized.
Because I think it got ignored on most other platforms.
Yeah.
But there's so much competition in that regard.
Right.
First-person shooter online. We don't know about the friends and stuff. They didn't really go into all the details. But, if that's got easy, like join a friend easy and just team up, and because there's team deathmatch.
Competition. There's zero competition for a first-person online shooter on Switch. Why wouldn't this do well? in that realm.
Anybody else think that could be the situation with the online?
The thing
I
is,
agree.
that's a good one.
Retro?
But I was just gonna say, I think last week or week before, I think it was Juice who said it, and I was the same in the beginning when Doom launched early on. I didn't even know it had multiplayer. And I think a lot of people are in that boat, but once people buy it and they know it, you know, you're playing some Splatoon and you're like getting a bit angry and you need to get like vent some shit. I think a lot of people might be drawn towards it because it is there and like it has no competition. So I think it could definitely work in its favor, but I feel they haven't like, even for the Switch, they haven't like promoted it enough yet, apart from what they said last time. Because when they said that in the interview, I was like, oh yeah, wait, why it does have multiplayer? I completely forgot that. And I think a lot of people just don't know that it has it.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not on the actual card, maybe they're a little less inclined to promote it more, but I don't know, I think it could be a surprise hit thing. Because I mean, yeah, Splatoon 2 is fun, and Mario Kart's kind of long in the tooth, and we haven't really touched ARMS, but to have a team multiplayer shooter, and you know, we can be on opposite teams type, like that could be enough to put me, you know, basically make me a liar from the video I made, because there's really no other reason for me to get the game on the Switch other than if the multiplayer community is really strong on there, and there's nothing else like it on the Switch. So I don't know, it's just something I just thought about.
I think you're onto something there, son.
But so yeah, what do you think, Tia, the way they presented this? Because I don't think we've gotten this type of video before for
Nope.
third party.
That's exactly what I thought when I first saw it. I was like, this is kind of a corner Nintendo was turning here, because you know there's this talk around you know, Nintendo embracing more violent games and blah. I'm like, well, they've always had like mature rated games on the, but this is different because they're out front promoting it, right? And I think it started with Bayonetta 2. I think it started with Bayonetta 2, and that obviously that's the game that they funded and published. But this is a third party, and they're putting this third party, Bethesda, out on the front page on their website, on their YouTube channel, and saying, all right, guys, talk about this violent as bloody, gory shooter game, and also mention that we get another violent, bloody, gory shooting game coming out later on in Wolfenstein 2 with some pretty deep, dark themes there. So that's the difference, I think. Because, you know, people are kind of going back and forth. Well, Nintendo's always had mature content, but this is different because they're promoting third-party stuff that's like that, and that's why I feel like they're turning the corner. I liked that whole video. I thought it was good. Only thing I didn't like about it is it was obviously terribly compressed, and I made the point that from my editing experience, what it looks like is that the video was shot in 1080. Maybe even higher, maybe even 4K, but it was shot in 1080 for sure. But the footage of Doom is obviously only 720p. So when you take a 1080, you set your timeline for 1080p in a video editor, and then you drop in 720p footage and you export it at 1080p, you're stretching those pixels in that footage. So it looked worse than it looked with their what was that called, the direct footage, right? So I'm not worried about it. From my experience, that's what it looked like to me. It was a timeline issue.
Yeah, because I was like, if this is the final, like,
that would be
graphics, then we're talking Call of Duty on Wii versus 360 drop, you know. And I have a feeling the multiplayer might be 60, just because of I think the graphic downgrade's even like a huge drop for the multiplayer. I don't know. I didn't play the multiplayer maps on the game. But it seems, you know, the video is not 60. Like, it could be the same thing. They produced a 30 frames per second video, but it looks like it's way more simplistic looking visually, and it just seems like things are happening faster. So they didn't say it.
That was one thing. It did look fast.
So I don't know if the multiplayer is going to be 60, but that would be, I mean, I think that would be a fair trade-off, because it definitely, to me, like I said, this video quality is atrocious. Like, I was like, damn, like this looks like fucking Xbox 360 visuals, the multiplayer stuff. So we'll have to wait and see how if it's just what you said, which I kind of think it is, because the direct footage definitely looked better. But it'd be interesting if the multiplayer, which you think they would have said if that was going to run at 60, you think they would have said that, but maybe that, I don't know. As long as it's solid and plays smooth, it looks smooth, like it looks fast. They talked about that, like it's at 30, but it still moves. The character still moves super fast on screen. So obviously,
and I think I wanted to mention, because I said, you know, they are obviously pushing out this game, and it would be, again, it would be more, or it would be more likely that Nintendo would, you know, promote a Japanese game where it's violent or whatever.
mm-hmm.
This is a Western third party, and I think that is also a big thing too. So I just want to point that out, because somebody did point out the fact that Nintendo funded Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. I forgot about that. But that is more likely than them promoting like a Western third party company like Bethesda, especially. So that's why I feel like.
And of course, the good old Nintendo UK. Maybe a lot. Retro, what Nintendo site do you mostly click on the videos for? Nintendo UK or just Nintendo the US?
For YouTube, I will have the standard American one. I have the Japanese one, and the UK one. I follow all of them. But apart from direct, in general, the content doesn't change too much. This Doom video, for example, I didn't bother watching the UK one because I'm pretty sure they're exactly the same.
Yeah, and I was gonna say the view count's this really terrible on the UK. It's only at 50.
It's always like that because not a lot of people watch them. Because that's what I said. You should have a general European Nintendo, but for Europe, for some reason, they like split it. Like you have a Nintendo UK, Nintendo France, Nintendo Germany. I don't understand why they separate it in so many things. Yeah, obviously the views then they're gonna suffer terribly from it.
Yeah, I don't know if this. What do you guys think? Low or high? This Doom video came out this morning. It's got 110,000 views. I thought it'd be a little higher myself.
I feel like I actually saw 110. And I was like, I thought it'd be lower, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's still like an interview. It's not like it's a trailer, so that does count for something.
And Nintendo, of course, their thumbnail is the two dudes.
That's true. Yeah,
the UK
you guys.
Well, the actual game.
It's a game that technically has been out for a year, so it's not like it's a oh my god, it's a brand new title. So I'm not terribly surprised.
But
I think if it was a picture of the game, it might be a little bit higher.
Or if the video looked a little better.
yeah, I wouldn't have clicked on it if I didn't see the title, just based on these two guys sitting in like a theater. Look,
They should have put a girl in there.
yeah, put a hot chick on there. Might have clicked.
It's fucking
Do something different. But
you're right, man.
yeah, that I was on my phone. I was like, I have it set to low quality anyway, just for data usage. And then when I got on the PC at home, I was like, I want to see what this looks like. And I was like, whoa. Like, I could put on the lowest setting, 720p on my PC, and I guarantee you it looked significantly better than that footage, that low quality footage. So that's kind of a bad thing that it's representing it poorly like that too. But we'll see. I still think the biggest hurdle it's going to have is the $60 price tag and the release time around all these other games. I don't know. I feel like Skyrim's going to do way better than Doom. And,
I think it's obvious.
I think so.
Probably.
Because you know why? It's been known for way longer also. You know?
But also the Elder Scrolls.
That makes sense because Doom has been out for so long.
No, but Skyrim's been out for longer.
But we've known it's been coming for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's known that it's been coming for such a long time. And I feel like more people have an attachment to Skyrim than
well, yeah, because people are still sucking that game's dick, and it's been how many years?
Damn.
Not just Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls in general. This is very high quality game. They have a massive fan base, and especially on a Nintendo console, those games are perfect.
Yeah, I've been a fan since Morrowind, so.
Me too, yeah.
I'd have bought Skyrim if it came out in September.
I've been a fan since Skyrim.
Like, you didn't play Oblivion at least? Jeez.
No, I wasn't even. I mean, I think I was 7 or something when I didn't play.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it comes out 2 weeks before Xenoblade. It's just that's that's a tough sell. It's like, am I going to buy it to support it and play it for 2 weeks? Then you got LA Noire, you got Doom if that multiplayer takes
LA
off.
Noire is like
Oh
in the
my
worst
gosh.
position because LA Noire is in between Doom and Skyrim.
I think LA Noire is gonna get gonna get it the worst.
Yeah, but I say
Oh
LA
my
Noire is the
God,
one that's
wow.
gonna suffer because we haven't even seen footage of that game.
I still
yet.
think that would have been a better fit. On all platforms as a January, February title.
Yeah, it should have
I mean,
waited till next year. It's
It's
not.
going against frickin' Battlefront 2 and Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, Destiny. Like,
Yeah, it's
really? You think
You know what
this-
I think though? You know what I think they're trying to do with that, with Skyrim and Doom and Eleanor, for example? There's a new Mario game coming. Everybody and their fucking mothers are gonna buy a Switch. Everybody's gonna buy a Switch for Mario. Even people who don't own it yet, they want it for Mario, and then they see those games that are there too. And I think just the fact that they're releasing it so close to Mario, I think it's really gonna boost the sales of all those games.
That's a good point. Mario's definitely going to push. I mean,
It's
they're
kind of like that. We got Mario, and we could get this, and we can get that.
Exactly.
It's a way different game than Mario.
I mean, Christmas is gonna come, so it's obvious people want to buy Christmas, but you're not gonna buy just one game, So I think it's a brilliant move.
Yeah,
I
you would have a
like
point.
that's a
I
half
think.
and half situation because you're also competing with Mario Kart and Zelda still. Like I was because they've been doing a lot of restocks of the Switch lately, and I was looking up videos of some newer unboxings. And the first like 3 or 4 games I see people pick up, it's like
Mario
the
Kart,
Switch.
Zelda, Splatoon.
Yeah, like it's the ones that everybody who knows to get. So I'm curious if Doom is even going to be on the list, or it'll be like one of those. Well, we already bought 4 of the games. Maybe we'll get that one later.
I don't think Doom is for those people. I think Doom is for more of the hardcore Nintendo.
Yeah,
fans.
I feel like people who own the Switch now are more likely
Yeah.
to get it than new people.
Yeah,
It's just crazy because somebody that's waiting to buy a Switch, let's say they, were just, I want to wait till Mario comes out, or maybe they had to save up some money. They're going to buy their Switch with Mario and have Zelda and Mario at the same, to experience at the same time. It's
That's
like,
too
Jesus.
much.
but Nintendo being this tight with Bethesda, especially right now, why didn't they have? They should have a Skyrim bundle or a
Yeah.
Doom bundle with red Joy-Cons. Like that would be.
I seen a Skyrim Joy-Con grips and stuff I don't know if that was official or just like one of these other companies, but it looked pretty sweet, and I think it was part of like a special edition or something.
A lot, like 50,000, something nothing too crazy, just with those bundles, and
Nintendo creating that shortage again.
I wonder when we'll see like a revision of the Switch. You know how the Wii got a really quiet revision with some of the Wii remotes, like the straps got redone, and then they started coming with the gel grip, and I don't know what else, little minor changes here and
Wii
there.
Motion Plus, that was the only other thing.
Wii Motion Plus,
that was pretty big, yeah.
And it's like, is there going to be revisions that they don't even announce stuff that is different? Like throw a freaking Ethernet port on the dock. I did see a video title. I didn't click on it, and I couldn't find it again. Like it wasn't it was just like in my suggested videos of a dock, a third-party dock that was going to have an Ethernet port like built in.
Yeah,
the stuff like that for the Switch.
I don't even think they've activated the USB 3.0 on the damn dock yet.
I mean, why? There's no need for it to have the 3.0 at this point.
At this point, yeah.
But I mean, maybe it'd be a quicker with the adapter, with the Ethernet adapter for internet. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the reason why I would
allow some external hard drives to be hooked up. Then you want that 3.0.
Yeah, that just gets real tricky when you go to lift your Switch off the dock and you're
Well,
playing.
then you're screwed. Yeah, oops.
That's going to be. I predicted that back when they showed it off. I said I don't think there's going to be external hard drives. I don't see how it would work unless you can strap your Switch in, strap it down, lock it in place.
Which is funny because I just bought another micro SD card today because they're on sale for some reason.
What size?
The 128 was like $32. 30
Really?
No, like 36.
That's
So,
definitely
like,
the cheapest.
With like tax, it ended up being like towards 40.
Because Best Buy had them for 60, and I've seen them on Amazon for 44 quite a bit. But
Well, they just had for I think a 200 something for
62.
60. Yeah.
That's good. That's pretty decent. I mean, that 128. If you have NBA 2K18, you know, you're cutting your 25% of that's already gone.
Well, that's part of the reason why I bought a second one, because I already bought one, and I was like, well, fuck it, it's on sale. I might as well get another one. Did we want to bring up the whole, apparently the update for NBA now has...
I was about to say
Friends.
that.
Yeah, that was going to be the next thing. I mean, the first thing I saw was the size of it. It was a couple days ago, where the digital version was like, was it 26 gigs or something before? I forget, but dude's like, yeah, look at, I just checked my NBA save files, download and update. It says now it's 36 gigs. That's for digital. So I'm guessing the physical will also have an additional 10 gig on top of the 16. But it listed a bunch of nonsense, like different jerseys for away game, you know, away jerseys for a couple teams and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, I can't read all this. It's like, it's scrolling down page after page of all these changes, and then finally there was a video Terrell shared where they added a friends. It's just the basic friends lobby, which is all I asked for, which is great. I just I don't know, the 10 gigs. That's a pretty beefy update. So I don't know what else they added, because that's a lot.
Oh, it was a whole bunch of patches.
That's a lot of data, but
this thing wasn't.
I don't know if you saw Level's video, because Level video about he was sitting there, he's like, I wanted to get a quick game of 2K18 in, and the damn 10 gig patches down.
No, he was on the he was like, he's like, this is why every time I turn my PlayStation, it makes me want to play my Switch, because he bought NBA for the PS4,
which was his first mistake.
And he's talking about like, oh man, you know, I gotta install something every time, and it was like, I don't know, 15 gigs or something on the PS4. And then I'm thinking, well, if you bought the Switch, you'd be in the Switch version, you'd be in the exact same boat right now, because I just watched a video of a guy trying to play it, and he had the 10 gig download before he could play it.
Oh yeah, you're talking about Nintendo Prime, because I think he went on like a rant about it.
No, it's this other guy I watched, this Mark something, who's done some pretty good videos on it. But
I will say, at least it got added, and it got added relatively quick before the physical version, which comes out tomorrow anyway. So
that's what bothers me about it, though. I mean, the game is basically done, but it's actually not done. They say it's done, but they're still building all this shit into it that should technically be in it. I mean, delay it a month then or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think that would have hurt the sales more.
I mean, but it's not like it's a random update patch. It's like they're Frankensteining the shit together.
And I will agree on one hand, and on the other, like, because the base game seemed to be like the digital version. You know, why do you delay it a month if it wasn't to? I would have been like cool with like, oh, it was so they could get this patch in on the physical version or something. Maybe it is. We don't know that yet. That would have to me that would have been like, hey, that was a good reason for the delay, because I still have no clue why they delayed the physical a month. But if it was to put that patch in on the physical version, they knew that they were going to do that, then I would have been like, yeah, that was a good reason.
It probably was, but
I'm saying, because T and Robert, you guys are getting it tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm getting it. Yeah.
Well, some stuff happened with.
I don't know if it's tomorrow, but it'll be this week.
Yeah,
I'm curious what
the
cartridge experience is. Like, do you plug it in and it has like all the patches you got to download, or if it's just
when you get, I'm sure somebody else would do this, but
yeah.
Turn off your Wi-Fi or something and just put the cartridge in and see what it does. See what you can
explodes. Does not compute.
I'm predicting you'll be able to choose from 4 teams. That's my.
I'm gonna go on record and say
that
this.
many, huh?
I'm gonna go on record and say this. I feel very vindicated to say the NBA was the better port overall.
It came around to still being the better port.
It's still the better port compared to FIFA.
I can see why you're saying that, but to me, a 10 gig patch is a reason FIFA still got it. Is another notch for FIFA, in my opinion.
Nah.
Yeah.
That would imply FIFA we actually have.
Yeah,
FIFA.
but however,
we have like a third of FIFA.
Now with the fact that you can play online with friends, now I'm back to being like, yes, I'm gonna beat T.
Yeah, that's a nice addition, but a 10 gig patch is just like I hope that's just the exception of the rule.
So we talking about the game, or we talking about the semantics? I'm talking about the game.
I'm talking about how much damn storage I'm gonna have to, like Terrell's. I mean, we're already talking 128 gig, your high percentage of it's already gone just on one game when you have the physical. So that's a factor.
I have 32 gigs on my internal and 128 on my card. So still looking pretty good.
Also, considering like PlayStation owners had to deal with this shit anyway, it's not like it's a Switch only problem. This is a
I looked at my PlayStation. I have 4 games on it, and I only have 200 gigs left.
The thing is, you don't have to buy external memory to play a game on the PlayStation.
Well,
if you
didn't we go over this already? Like
we did. I think we did.
I feel like you guys
don't have to buy
over the fact that
I'm not skipping over anything.
Play NBA 2K18 on the Switch in any form, physical or digital, without buying an external memory solution.
Okay, that's one game.
That's what I know. It's one game, and I'm not judging the Switch on it. I'm judging the game on that. That's a PS4 type of.
And it still weighs less storage than the PS4 version.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the PS4 has 400 gigs. You don't have to buy an external hard drive to play NBA 2K on.
I get what he's saying. He's
saying that's what I'm.
But you're skipping the fact that you're getting a smaller, you're getting a less amount. Yes, the storage is more, but you're getting a less amount. You're using less amount of storage than you're using on the PS4.
Yeah, that's a true statement. But I don't have to go out and spend 40, 60, 80 bucks on an external hard drive to play a game on my PS4. I have 7 games, and I still have 150.
You're spending $100 more on a console for that hard drive.
I didn't, but I only paid $220. But if you want to talk about,
it would have been $120 without that hard drive in there. So you are paying for that hard drive. That's what. The argument I don't understand with people. They don't seem to realize that just because it comes with it doesn't mean you're not paying for it.
Yeah, if I paid $400 for my PS4.
Well, I think what was that before? And before this year, you couldn't even like expand the memory. Yeah, because PlayStation just recently had that.
The point is, there's no game on PS4 that you can't just play it on the system without having to buy an external storage.
Oh, no, I get that.
So that's why, and I'm not saying the Switch is awesome. In every other game we've had, this is the only game, and I just can't accept. Even if it's only 26 gigs compared to 40, it's a physical game with 26 gigs of downloadable. You have to download.
This argument is nothing new. We've already talked about. If you buy a Switch, you already know you're going to need more. I don't understand. You're going to need more memory.
My main point was more comparing it to FIFA, because I feel like
he brought it up by saying again, this is another point towards. Over FIFA, to me, it's another negative towards NBA.
I'm with you on that.
So we're not going to agree on that. We don't have to.
I mean, you like soccer more, so that's that's a little bit of bias over there.
I like NBA games a lot more than FIFA.
Oh, really?
I'm not a soccer kind of guy. Like that's why I'm stand apart from the rest of Europe.
I can't buy a physical game that doesn't have the game
NBA
on it.
Like my entire life. I love NBA games. I think the gameplay of that shit is so much fun. But I'm with Juice, like the fact that, like, technically, if NBA would have stayed digital, yes, it was a far superior version. But for me, it is simply the fact that you have a physical game that is not a physical game that puts it way behind FIFA. It's a bullshit.
Is it not digital now? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
No, but it is. But if it's only digital, I think the physical thing they're releasing, like what Juice is saying, you're buying a physical game and you have to download like 50, 100 fucking gigs on top of it. Like it's bullshit.
Okay, I mean, well, that's again. You're talking about the entire industry. You're talking about every.
That's not like
I'm not following you. I don't understand.
Because
that's not like a specific Switch NBA problem.
Yes, it is, because that is not. I don't have to download 50 gigs to play Zelda or Mario. When I buy it physical, I have it physical. I don't need to download 20 gigs in order to play Mario Kart, but I have to when I buy a physical version of NBA.
Yeah, I don't get why that.
Well, these aren't Nintendo games. I mean, Nintendo was obviously a different
third party at this point.
Because okay, I'll just that's the last thing I'll say on it, because we're going in circles like what we did the other time. But I just want to say, like what you said, T, is like you have to buy an external thing when you buy a Switch, when you have a Switch. I didn't have to. I don't have to, and I don't have to for years yet. So you have to when you want to play NBA, though.
5, 6, whatever years on the Switch and not have to. Did you get an external for your Wii U?
Nope. and I have about 50 games for that, and I have like a virtual console all
Yeah, to
over
be fair,
it.
the Wii U was better with it, but that's also because the Wii U didn't
Well, I have-
get
it has the
the
same
Wii U didn't get that many
features.
third-party
Well,
games.
that's the difference. So
And that is
so-
including downloading that extra patch. I didn't have to for Xenoblade X, the 3 gig or something, so that it runs faster for me when thingy. I didn't have to download that, but I still
Well,
had
again,
space for
we're
it.
in the same boat. You're comparing Nintendo games to the rest of the industry. Nintendo wins. Like I don't understand. There's no argument there.
Yeah, it'd be more
This is-
expensive.
this
if
is what
it was
happens
just,
when you
made.
This is what happens when you bring in third-party games. You're gonna have. It's not gonna be the Nintendo situation. That's just how it
I don't
is.
have to do it for
Because-
Skyrim. I don't have to do it for I Am Setsuna. I don't have to do it for FIFA.
Some
I get
games
the
you do,
games
some
when I
games
buy
you
the
don't.
games.
You have to do it for
games-
Doom, though. Technically,
do
if
it
you
for
want the
Doom, like-
multiplayer.
It's not gonna be
Yeah.
perfect for everything you
Yeah,
want
I
it to
just hope
be.
this isn't an
And I have a
issue.
sneaking suspicion you probably have to do it for Wolfenstein too, but that's just a guess on my part.
I would think so. And, hopefully in a year's time, this isn't an issue like with the N64. It was just more common with bigger carts and stuff. I really hope so because, even though my the PlayStation games I have to install off the disc, they still have the whole game on the disc. So someday, say the servers are turned off or something, I could still put that disc in, even if I had to
I'm not so
reinstall
sure
it.
about that. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, we don't
all
know.
that information is coming off the disc.
Well, then you also have to download patches
I guess if they,
because that's what the NBA, some of the NBA stuff has been. It's just patches.
yeah,
What are these special discs that you can download 100 gigs from? Because
I don't own
my
any of those
knowledge,
games.
from my knowledge, Blu-ray is 50 gigs max.
That's what I specifically point out. The games I have are actually 50 gigs or under. Well, Uncharted was until they released a bunch of free maps for the multiplayer, which...
Well, you got like Call of Duties and whatnot coming out with 100
Yeah, I'm
gigs.
talking about games I actually... When I said it, I was talking about games. I've never bought a game that I knew... I purposely wouldn't buy a game on the PS4 if it's like 80, 90 gigs and I know the Blu-ray is only 50. I'm not going to buy it. It's just... I'm
Something
going to be...
fishy about that to me.
I'm gonna be consistent with NBA on the Switch or any game on the PS4. If the whole game ain't on the physical media, whether you have to install it or not off on the PS4, Xbox One, I'm just not gonna buy it. And that's
that's a completely fine stance to take. What I'm saying is you can't expect third party to do what Nintendo's doing because they've never been able to do
that. It's their first year kind of getting back onto a console that they obviously aren't optimized to use yet.
And I think another thing, we were talking about Doom looking, the hands-on reports of the portable mode was, it looks a little, the texture stuff are blurry. I think they're almost going to have to do that just for file size. Like part of compression and part of getting the file sizes down. I mean, one option for them is to reduce texture quality and stuff like that because that's smaller. Just like if you upload a video at 480 versus 1080, obviously 480 is smaller file size. So maybe that's another potential downfall to them trying to fit the game on the cart is they're going to have to, maybe Doom could run at a higher resolution or have higher textures, but it wouldn't fit. And that's just, kind of related to what we were just talking about. I was thinking about that earlier today. I mean, that really does affect file size, super high quality textures versus lower quality. And hopefully those higher cards Nintendo can just...
I expected these things to happen. I don't know. You bring cartridges back in, you're gonna have these issues. Like you're not gonna. I mean, I'm just looking from experience. Like I said with N64, I brought that up before. It's like those cart sizes. They didn't have this. They didn't have the cartridge size in the beginning. That's why you didn't have a lot of third-party games on it in the beginning. And when they started to get that, you got third-party games. But then some of the third-party companies, most of them didn't put like memory on the card because they wanted to save all the space for the game. So you had to have a memory card for a damn cartridge, and that was just weird. Yeah, that was weird, right? Like so, you had these issues all the time. All Nintendo games had memory on the cartridge. They've always been able to do that stuff. But third parties, they come in, especially like sports games. Madden took up a whole damn memory card, and you had to go buy another damn memory card. So I don't know how many Sony fans are listening to this, but don't think Sony's going to somehow make a hybrid system and avoid this problem. They're going to have a worse situation because they're not going to want to have lower quality textures and stuff, and they're not going to be able to shrink the file size. And the memory cards are going to be proprietary.
I really think that's if I had to bet that if Sony was going to release a hybrid, the next system, the reason I'd say no, and it'd probably be a huge, like, I'd be way on the no side, is because of the storage situation, and these Call of Duties and Shadow of War just comes out. It's going to be 100 gigabytes on PC. Who knows about PS4, Xbox One? Xbox One X, I think, would probably be the same 100 gigabytes. And there's no getting around that. You'd have to put like a 10 terabyte internal memory, and have the games download only, or have $100 games because they need, you need a 128 gig card. It's not a problem just for Nintendo. I guess it's because they chose the system they did.
If that happens with Sony, I'm sure that thing is at least going to be thrice as big than the Switch, and it's going to cost $700 at least. I agree.
It's going to melt in your hands.
They're going to want to make it heavy and full, and they're going to try to make the quality better, and you can't do that yet.
Robert, are you saying something?
No, I was just laughing.
Oh.
He was just entertained by the conversation.
I think it's just going to be a real problem.
Sony Vaio Switch.
Because of Sony's what games their internal studios like to do,
Well, that's not the problem. The problem is that Sony, for some reason, likes to forget a lot of its IPs. They want to they'll make like what was it? What was that fucking IP they started on the PS? Oh, Heavenly Sword.
Heavenly Sword.
Where'd that go?
I don't think it was really that great of a game.
It wasn't. But the point I'm making,
to build off of.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the point I was making is like they'll start some IPs and then they'll kind of just kill the IP within the same console generation.
Well, the point I was going to make was all the voice acting, all those cutscenes in Uncharted games. I mean, there's literally, 8 hours in Uncharted 4 of cutscenes? Like,
Yeah.
But there was one on the Vita, wasn't there?
Golden Abyss.
I think
Golden Abyss, yeah.
I don't know.
It's not, to me, it's more of them not having a good amount of IPs to have their handheld have unique games on it. Because that was the problem with the Vita. The Vita was strong and it had games. It's just that Sony themselves stopped supporting it so early into its life cycle.
Well, they never really supported it.
Yeah,
it was their main system.
It wasn't their own studios.
Yeah, Golden Abyss. That's the problem with the Sony handhelds, is that they never do any really first party stuff. They hand it off to smaller little snippet studios.
But if they did a true Switch it would be their main system. It wouldn't be an additional.
Yeah, it would have to be the main.
It would be their main system. So I'm saying the biggest problem would be the storage because of the types of games that they push out.
Well, yeah,
and they wouldn't want to deal with these problems that Nintendo has to deal with.
Yeah, but usually what they'll do is they'll let another company try the idea, and if they think it's worth something or they can make money off of it, then they'll throw their hat in the ring.
They pretty much said it wasn't worth it to them.
And did anybody play the Golden Abyss?
No.
I'm watching a quick video, and it's just like in-game graphics engine cutscenes.
Yeah,
like,
they use in-game for graphics.
They're not like going to the super high quality.
Well, they can't.
And Jeremy Johns had a review. He looks funny as shit. He's got
I was about to say,
matted down haircut.
I was going to say, the Vita came out, 2011?
Yeah, it was 2011.
Wasn't it the same year? Yeah.
It was around the same year as the 3DS.
I remember it was a demo on at Best Buy, and it was. I should have known then I wasn't gonna like Uncharted because I was like, this game sucks.
With some sticks, man. I never could get with those analog sticks. It's just having the way you had to hold it, to the whole entire system and then hold the stick.
And then the memory cards were expensive as shit.
Yeah. The memory cards is the reason I still don't have a Vita, because I would have one. But
yeah, I think that's what really
those prices came down. But do they still sell?
They're still expensive. Those
memory cards, like I'm sure I couldn't find them because I only sell the Vita in the U.S. really. But
oh yeah, they don't. Well, I think I've seen one.
But anyway,
we should be talking about the Xbox One X that comes out around.
Yeah, where's Mohammed, man? He's not in this chat the last couple days.
I saw.
Why you always be looking for?
Because he is so.
He's
excited to be the second.
Yeah, he's here. He's in the chat.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, there he is. He has a 64 bit. 64
Look at this man.
Why you throwing the man shade?
He's the only guy in this chat that he's excited for the X. So I want to know.
I I'm excited for it. I mean, it's intriguing.
I'm pretty indifferent.
He really thinks it's going to be the holiday.
The beast is coming, man. The beast is coming.
Well, okay. Well, let's be real here. Do we think that's going to really make any real dent in the holiday season?
No.
It's gonna do 50,000, I think, in the U.S. on over the holidays.
Yeah, man.
I'm,
that's
I'm
like-
only saying that based not the price. That I think it's for what it is. It's worth $500.
Yeah, for
But
what
they-
you're getting if you care about.
Right, but
That.
they don't have a game. Like that's the only
They got Forza, man.
man.
How many Forzas can you play right now on Xbox One?
10.
Well, it's like what? It's like 5. I think this will be like the 5th
Well, with
one.
backwards
wouldn't it?
compatibility, you can play
Forza, man.
all of
I
them.
think this is like the 5th one that they've released that's new.
And I like Forza games, and I'm overwhelmed on them.
You don't want to pay for the
I
microtransactions?
bought Forza 1, and then years later I played, I don't know, 3 or 4, and I'm like, nothing's changed. Nothing has
And it's
changed.
a racing game with
It's the
Well,
same.
Forza
They don't
is the NBA of Microsoft. It's a game that comes out every year that it only adds in a little bit more cars, and that's about it.
I will say that the free beta of Forza 6 was pretty enjoyable. You know, I played it probably 4 or 5 hours total. And I was like, yeah, this is cool, but that's all, you know, to me, that's all it's worth, 4 or 5 hours and, you know, playing it for free.
Well, let me ask this because since we'll have the Xbox One X and there'll be more 4K gaming, if anyone's noticed, the PS4 Pro really hasn't gotten any play in terms of its 4K patches for games, right?
Not much.
Will this even boost like the interest in 4K gaming on consoles?
No.
I don't know. I just seen a
4K
guy.
stream for movies.
Well, that's not saying much.
Yeah, I think that may be a little bit.
That's not the point of the console.
Hey, I will say, I was at Best Buy the other day, and they had a 70-inch Vizio, their new X LED, and it was $12.99 for a 70-inch. And I gotta say, I was standing like 2 feet from it. It looked freaking amazing, like for that price, that size. But then I looked at the technical reviews of like getting to the nitty gritty, and it's like, you know, contrast levels, color uniformity, and like input response time were all pretty low. Like I was like, yeah, it looks good with this slow moving 4K documentary footage.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm saying. Like
it's lots of stills, lots of like barely moving city.
4K is about a year away from me purchasing a 4K TV.
Well,
they ain't there yet on the.
I had a pretty funny Xbox example that happened to me this weekend when I went to Best Buy and I tried and I saw all the restocks of Switches. This dude, when they put in the demo unit for the Switch, the son and a mother were playing the game, and the husband walked over to the Xbox section, and there was a Best Buy representative, and the guy asks him, he goes, "So what's the difference between the Xbox One and Xbox One S?" And it took the Best Buy rep a second because he was like, "Do you mean X or S?" And he's like, "Oh, S." And I'm like,
see,
and I was like,
see.
and then when he started listing the reason, the main reason he put out, "Oh, you can stream in 4K on the S." And he was like, "Is that it?" He's like, "Yeah, pretty much. It's a little bit more powerful."
HDR, 1080p.
Yeah, like,
he didn't even know. Like,
it's 1080p HDR, which is weird.
and it's not his fault he didn't know because Microsoft has been.
Well, yeah,
doing
because you think
a
about
shit job.
think about it. It's a gaming console, and the main difference between the games, between the two consoles, is you can stream 4K movies.
Do they even sell the original Xbox version?
No,
I've
they
seen it.
stopped,
I've seen them.
They
Really?
discontinued it. They may be trying to get rid of their stock.
I think those are just the leftovers, to be fair.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. That's what I said. When normal people go to the store, they see an S and an X, and the only difference they will see is $250.
You know why? You know a big reason for that? X doesn't have any damn games. If they had a damn game to say this is the version Xbox One X, you can show everybody the difference. Forza's out right now, right?
Yeah, it's out.
So
I have no doubt it'll look
Yeah, because
amazing.
Forza came out before the game
Right.
did.
So
But
that doesn't help you.
well, there aren't that many patches. I think it's Forza and like Assassin's Creed. They're gonna have 4K up patches. I don't know what else. I know there's a few other games, but it's kind of like, does it really matter at that point? I mean, it's just because to me, what's gonna boil down to is that I feel like developers are gonna have to spend more money to justify making 4K upgrades to a game for a console that may or may not even sell.
Right.
And looking
We've
at the
already
PS4
seen a lot
Pro,
of devs are refusing to do that anyway.
well, most of them don't have the fucking money.
Yeah, they're lazy as hell. Anyway,
I'm about to say, especially the Japanese developers, they don't have the money to be.
Yeah, Japanese developers don't give a damn about no 4K.
Yeah, they don't have the money to be up-resing games to 4K and shit.
What the? I see a newsfeed, Doc Trey. I'm not subscribed to him, but I recommended. He's got the worst picture of of Review Tech in his thumbnail. It's funny.
Oh no.
Yeah, he posted on Twitter how he wanted.
I don't know.
Did
Did Review Tech do something? Say something stupid again?
It's because
I
at
haven't
first
watched.
we had to thank Black Bond for the Switch, and now we also have to thank Review Tech USA for the Switch being what it is. That's what it's about.
Oh
Because apparently we have to thank him because now we got like third parties because apparently the
Yeah, these dudes serious.
and the Wii U they didn't get third party games, and now we
Hey,
do.
man,
Was it T? Was
Yeah,
it
it
you
was
that said
T.
that,
T had
that
the
you would
video.
believe, like you would say that had some merit if they had saw the Switch and said, yes,
Yeah,
this is what
you
I've been
would-
asking
yeah.
for.
Exactly. You still be bullshit, but you'd have a little bit more leeway. I'd give you a little bit more credit had you seen the Switch and said, "Yep, this is because I've been complaining for 5 years. This is exactly what I wanted." But they didn't do that.
They
When
saw
the Switch,
Nintendo's
like,
not listening. That's what
right.
they said.
So
They don't
how
get
you
it.
gonna take credit?
Man,
Because it's
Forza-
not what you wanted and it's selling. The only reason you've been asking for credit because it's selling. So stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, Forza 7 on a standard Xbox One. Talk about a drop off. Like from everything I've seen up to this point has been the 4K X footage. Like this looks like a bigger drop than pulling the Switch into portable mode.
wow, that's
So, I mean-
savagery.
If they could have an Xbox One X demo showing, like they could show the difference, but you have to have a 4K TV. Otherwise, I mean, it's really minimal.
Like I said, they should have pushed Gears of War 4 back a year to right now.
Yeah.
And made that their X game. You know,
Just like what
made that their
Nintendo
X
did
game.
with Zelda, basically.
Right.
Mhm.
Basically, that's what they should have done.
I hope the Xbox One X has like 4 terabytes because I guarantee you Forza 7 is gonna be 100 plus.
Yeah.
You know it doesn't.
Oh yeah, it's already
100
confirmed.
plus
Isn't it?
gigs,
No,
yeah.
yeah, it is over 100.
And Shadow of War is gonna be 100, dude. You're
Yep.
gonna be. That's a lot because the discs only hold 50. That's a lot of downloading.
Mhm.
That is a
Yeah.
lot.
Well,
Patches and
one of the,
DLC.
that's one of the things why I almost think that we
Patches.
need a fucking reset in terms of this graphic obsession.
You're gonna
Because
get
mostly-
maybe. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead, T.
I was just gonna say you're gonna get maybe 8 games on your hard drive. At that rate.
Because all I was thinking is that at this point, I feel like a lot of studios have been closing because they can't keep up with this fucking graphical generation, and you have a whole bunch of indie studios popping up. I feel like we need like a graphic reset in terms of what we should be trying to, because you got all these studios putting all their money into one game, and then the one game doesn't sell well, so that's when you get the fucking definitive edition and the remasters that come out like a year later because they didn't make all the money on the game. Like at that point, I'm like, I don't think we need to be pushing 4K at this point.
We
There's
barely
too
got
many
1080p. We barely got 1080p in this bitch.
Yeah, we don't even get
Yeah.
1080p native on a lot of games.
Not even
Yeah.
a whole generation of whole
1080p 60. Worry about that first.
Sorry to the user who commented last week about how much we talk about resolution too much, but it's like when there's not a lot of topics, it's definitely when you got a
Well,
system coming out that specifically promotes
About the graphics.
higher resolution and stuff.
Yeah.
And
That's all you can talk about.
that's all you can talk about. That's the only thing to talk about the Xbox One X. And yeah, it's the most powerful. You know, it's got the best looking version of Star Wars Battlefront 2, but guess what? It's still Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I played the beta on my PC. And having a better looking version of that game doesn't mean anything. It's got to have great must-have games, whether they're third-party multiplats or exclusives. And then with everything else it can do, then you can talk. Hey, to me, like $500 for a 4K machine. If I had a 4K TV or plan to get one soon, like T said, and I said when they first announced it, that for what you're getting, you can't build with a PC. You can't build a steady 4K 60 frames per second machine. Like to run Forza 7 in 4K 60, you're talking $1,500 on PC.
Yeah.
Basically. You can't. I forget those videos where you can slap a this or that on a base model Dell, and on low settings you can get 4K at 30. No, forget that crap. To get what the Xbox One X can do, I'm praising it because you're going to spend 3 times that money to build a PC, which obviously a PC does a lot more. You know, if you already were going to build a PC, adding the graphics cards, like $600 that you'll need. But so it's a good value there. But if they just had like this couple must-have titles for someone like me, you know, I do like having something to turn on. If I bought a brand new 4K TV, I'd want something to show it off. And that's where the Xbox One X could get somebody like me if it had a game that I just have to have, and I can pretty much only get it there. You know, because I mean, Forza 6 looked pretty damn good on my PC, so Forza 7 is going to look good. It's not going to look. I don't have a 4K monitor, so I don't need it 4K. So I don't know.
If I may quickly say something about because we talked about Rich and whatnot, the tabloid tubers. I call them tabloid YouTubers. I don't like. I think people still get upset and whatnot, and like I don't get upset because their function is to be tabloid YouTubers. Like they contradict themselves from video to video. Like it's funny, especially with like Rich, because he'll say something, you know, about Nintendo or whatever positively. Oh, you're a Nintendo fanboy. You look in his comment section, Nintendo fanboy, and then he'll say something negative. Oh, you're a Nintendo hater. And it's just they go back and forth. And it's just like they have to have content. You know, they have to keep putting out content. And when you do that, you contradict yourself over and over again. I don't put too much merit into what these guys say. It doesn't bother me. It only bothers me when they go after other people, like they are the truth police or something. Like you know, that's when I'm like, wait a minute, you're a tabloid tuber. You don't have any well, not influence, but you don't have. You can't stand up on a pedestal when you you know and talk down to everybody else when this is what you do. So it's just like that's the only time they bother me. I don't care about their proclamations about you should give me credit for this or that. That's all silly stuff. So
yeah, I don't think the Switch is anything like what these guys were saying Nintendo.
Not at all.
It's nothing like what they said Nintendo should do after the Wii U.
Do you remember the months and months of the Nintendo NX being the next powerfulest?
It needs to be powerful. It needs to be on par.
The fuckery.
These old dudes were saying this stuff, and it's just like...
It needs to be x86 and this and that. Well, no, it doesn't. It just needs to be something that people want and sells well. That's what it needs to be. And have great games. That's all it needs to be, like, seriously. And it's done that, and obviously Bethesda and these other companies are trying to play catch up, and it's like, yeah, you know, NBA 2K, they seem like they were there from the beginning, but obviously there was things to be worked out. But they're there. You can say they were there day one.
To me, it's like a Sonic Forces thing with them. It's like they like Retro said, they Frankenstein this thing together because they were trying to get it out day and date. To me, like, obviously it sucks the way the game is. It's all over the place with how you got to download it and stuff. But to me, I want to give them credit for at least trying to get it out because that was all the crying on the Wii U was like, oh, this game's late. So at least they're trying to get it out day and date. And I think, like I said, next year I think it'll be better. But I think they should get credit for that. You know, Sonic Forces, they could have, you know, said, oh, the Wii U version, or the Wii U, look at me. The Switch version is going to come out later, and people would have been upset.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, what can you do at that point?
You're just choosing the lesser of two evils.
Right.
I just hope, like, you know, as they get more familiar with the system, it can be day and date and obviously still be maybe a little bit higher quality at launch than some of these. Even like Snake Pass needed a couple patches to get going. Fast RMX needed some patches. You know, those were launch titles, but
they just need more of the main teams working on because that's the issue with the third party, in my opinion, is that they're doing a lot of porting instead of having the main teams work on these games. At least I think that's part of the problem.
We'll see when we find out who's working on the Switch version of Wolfenstein. And
we already know that.
We already know it's the same. Yeah,
they didn't know. I didn't know. At this point, I hadn't heard. We knew that Panic Button was doing Rocket League and Doom. We haven't heard.
See, because you don't follow Dr. Trey.
Yeah. So they're working on Wolfenstein 2. How big is this team?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
40 people.
The thing that worries me though is they keep that'll be their third game, and they have a track record now with their games.
Mm-hmm.
they don't go beyond, like the docked version is nothing different than the portable mode version, like as far as resolution and everything. Like there's no change from what we've seen. Well, obviously we don't have the final games and stuff, but I would like to think that eventually they can get a little bit of an improvement there with the docked version. And that seems to be they're working on just making sure it runs and it's stable. That's good, but I'd like to maybe keep working and patch some of these games later to take more advantage of the docked. So we'll see if that happens and what happens in the future. But yeah,
they're the ones who worked on Recore. I'm going through their list right now just for the hell of it.
Yeah, I never heard of them until
they did Recore.
I don't understand this whole.
Go ahead.
So I just want to say, I just don't understand this whole Forza 7 thing anyway. If Nintendo for the Wii U had already released 5 Mario Karts, the only thing you would hear is desperate. That's the only thing. It's desperate. This is all they have Forza. There's nothing else. They're not trying anything else. Like 5 Forza games. What the shit is that? If you would have 5 Mario games on the Wii U, like the amount of hate, like Nintendo would be dead already by now.
Well, to be fair, there's 2 simulation ones, and then there's 2 more arcadey ones.
No, there's 3 simulation now.
Oh, there's 3. Yeah, sorry, there's 3 simulation now. Yeah,
there's 5 Forza games though. I mean, there's only been 6 3D Mario games ever, with the 7th one coming out, and there's already 5 Marios. Forza games on the Xbox One. Like, I mean, I would be pissed if there was 5 Mario Karts on the Switch by the end of its.
Well, if you listen to the Xbox podcast,
they bring us the Mario Party problem for a while.
They are pissed on the Xbox guys. No, they're not. They're
they don't give a damn.
Happy whether they're accepting it.
They don't give a damn.
I would like literally Mario Kart 9's a definite buy, but if Mario Kart 10 comes out 2 years later on the Switch, I'm like, guys, like it's too much.
I'm gonna have to try. I'm gonna try to get on one of these podcasts. I'm gonna get on.
No, don't do it.
No, I was on Next Gen's podcast before. I'm gonna go back on, try to talk these guys into some sense.
You're asking for a lot, man.
The thing is, and I never would have imagined it because I can't stand what kind of person he is. But with Next Gen, he's actually kind of realistic, and you know how he's complaining and then he's like getting on this fucking panic attacks.
They all jump down on him.
Like, I think he could be reason. You can have a conversation with him somewhat to a certain degree still.
Yeah, I was on. He was cool with me, and he gets a little bombastic. He acts like Nintendo did something to him when he was a kid or something.
Yeah, it's not like he got
some of the hate that he has. But like,
I'm playing no Mario game, man. I'm a grown man.
I'm a grown man.
Yeah, I don't understand. I will never understand that logic.
It was like your video you did about grown ass men, Terrell.
He's representing me. Everybody go watch it. No.
Terrell's got a great video about insecure grown ass men playing video.
I don't need this chilling. T. Chill out.
Go check it out. It's good stuff.
All I'm saying is that, like, I feel like Xbox gamers are more into the console for its ecosystem than its actual games at this point. Like, it makes me feel like you bought into the Xbox, you bought into the 360, and you're kind of just into the Xbox One because you've been playing
Xbox
on Xbox this whole
Xbox
time.
Live is great. It's great.
Let's give them props. Let's give the guys that stuck with the Xbox One props for at least being loyal, unlike a lot of the 360 user base that jumped to the PS4. At least these guys are being loyal. And there's something to say about loyalty, you know.
They ride and die. They ride and die.
Yeah, we were trying to commit suicide in this bitch. That was the problem.
We had to ride and die for Wii U, so
it's crazy though. Even with all this, the Xbox One X, all the specs they talked about and stuff, and then you listen to like Digital Foundry and like, the DirectX 12 games like Forza and Gears of War, 4K 60, like native, but Assassin's Creed like 1440p or 1200p, and like these games can't even with all that power, they still can't do 4K. It's because the industry, the graphics are moving too quick for the rest of the industry. Yeah, just for them to make a native 4K game from the ground up for the Xbox. I mean, let's say it wasn't going to be held back by the standard Xbox One and the S. Just think of the time and money just to take that jump already, with 4K being so, the what do they call it? Saturation of it being so low still. Like it's why did we go to 4K in 2016 with the Pro and 2017? Like this should be 2019, 2020 type of the next consoles maybe, because the Xbox One can't do 1080. It's mostly 900 almost every game. The PS4 is a little bit more consistent, and it's just like, why did they think we needed to jump to 4K already? Like it's
because the console manufacturers are the one dictating the industry at this point. Xbox and PlayStation are dictating it. And because PlayStation and Xbox wanted to stick their hands into a higher resolution to make themselves seem even stronger.
But these third parties have all the power. I can't believe they didn't say something like, wait.
Because they know they can get deals. I bet you aren't going to say that fucking Ubisoft isn't getting some sort of deal from Microsoft to be like, hey guys, we're gonna do a 4K patch. And they get their hands out like, where's the incentive? And then they pay them off. It's the same thing Sony's been doing, but by getting all the exclusive rights for certain third-party titles. These third parties aren't making money. They make money off their microtransactions and their DLC and their fucking deals with the console manufacturers. It's a hustle.
It's a hustle. They got nothing. They got nothing else to offer gamers.
That's why, if you've noticed, the indie scene has gotten bigger.
Yeah,
because there are so many developers who can't hack that shit.
All we are getting at this point is a prettier version of the 6th gen. The games haven't moved really that much beyond 6th gen as far as gameplay and what you can do. It's just prettier. They're prettier 6th gen games, and so why not 4K, man?
And then you got 4K. Not to call them out again, but Mohammed just saying exclusives don't matter anymore because AAA games consistently best-selling games amongst non-Nintendo consoles. Well, that's a fact. That's also a problem. And if you look at the breakup, it's the Sony's like 80% of the sales are on the PS4 to the Xbox One for those third-party games.
PlayStation.
With that thinking, what motivates you to buy a box? Like, if you don't care about exclusives, why should I care about an Xbox, or why should I care about a PlayStation?
I guess the Xbox Live versus PSN at that point. But then, how are you somebody that plays online games a ton? If you don't,
why pay for it? Why not just go PC? Why pay for online?
Yeah, especially considering almost all the Xbox games are on PC nowadays.
So you're not helping yourself with this argument. You think
because put it this way, by that logic, if the exclusives don't matter, then what's stopping you from buying a PlayStation? Considering they've been the strongest console up until this year.
Why don't you have a PS4 Pro last year? I don't know. It's just one of those things.
They got all the best exclusives or best multiplats,
and they got the DLC content coming first and exclusive.
You just talked yourself into a hole, man.
And just he'd be over there just sitting down with a gun in his hand, just you fucked up, didn't you?
It is true that on those consoles, like the multiplats are definitely always the biggest selling games for the most part. But you don't think Sony was happy to see The Last of Us on the PS3 sell 6 million copies? Like, you don't think they like that? Because they make a lot more money off that than they do your Call of Duty selling 10
they're
million.
gonna keep all of that money. So
it's like they want them. And I guess if I own a console without real exclusives, I'd probably say the same thing.
I like how that's the handicap.
Like, third parties don't matter to me because I'm a Nintendo guy and I always get these great first party games, and I don't. When I finally do play a third party game, most of the time it's just disappointment. It's like,
let's be real here.
I bought an Xbox One, but I bought it for Halo.
That's what I was gonna say.
And I bought it for Sunset Overdrive. That's why
everybody who has an Xbox now, you didn't buy it for third party. You bought it for Halo and Forza and Gears. That's what all the Xbox players do. If those games weren't there, you would be on PC. That you bought the Xbox for those games,
right?
And maybe the controller, because I know the PlayStation's been, other than the PS4's, is a lot better. They're known for, in my opinion, the worst every generation.
Still not as good. It's better.
Trash controllers. So I mean, that's definitely a deciding factor. That's why I was always like, I can't get PS4 over an Xbox One because I just can't get on board with their controller. I just never liked it, but it's better. And then I got my PC and I got an Xbox One controller for it. So
that's exactly what I was gonna say. Get a PC, an Xbox One controller, and you have a better experience because you ain't got to pay for online. Yeah. So like, what is my motivation for buying that box? At this point, like when I bought it, again, I bought it for Forza, I bought it for Sunset Overdrive, and I bought it for Master Chief Collection. I was like, that's when I jumped in, and then the exclusives jumped out, and I was like, what is this?
How many of those games are still exclusive to Xbox?
Just think if
only one, right? One of them.
Let's say
Sunset Overdrive, I think, is the only one.
Quantum Break, Cuphead, Gears 4. Just think if those were just only playable on an Xbox One. Like, what else? I know Halo 5 is still exclusive.
Yeah.
Feel like I'm missing at least one
Rise, Son of Rome.
No, something newer. Recore wouldn't have been that big, but games like that.
PC too, yeah.
Games like that. If they had a lineup, if Xbox One had a lineup of 20 plus, like good to decent exclusives, I mean, it'd be a whole different situation. Like for me, like Cuphead looks cool. I might pick it up on Steam when it
on Steam.
But that's the key thing, on Steam.
And play with his Xbox controller.
I don't, because I can get it now. I'm just like, I'll get it when I'm in between games and I see it, and it'll be a spontaneous buy or something. But the fact that I can get it, like I remember when I had the Wii, and I loved the games I had, Galaxy and Twilight Princess and Wii Sports and Metroid Prime 3. But I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't lying back then. When I saw Gears of War on an Xbox 360, saw Assassin's Creed, saw what that system was doing when the visuals actually, or the games took that leap, because the first year it was just 6th-gen games up-resed. When they took that leap and I saw what those games could do, I was freaking jealous as hell. Dead Space, BioShock, it was like I couldn't ignore it anymore. I had to buy an Xbox 360.
Yeah, you can pass it
for
up.
games I couldn't play anywhere else. Obviously, the PS3 got most of those games later. Like that's the reason I bought an Xbox 360.
Yep.
Well, for me, it was funny because when those games went to PS3 was the moment I realized that I don't trust Xbox exclusives, and all the Xbox One did was prove my point, because almost every game except for Sunset Overdrive and maybe a Halo game are like the only games that are still exclusive to just Xbox.
And it's like Sony and Microsoft, they completely swap places from that last gen to this gen, where it's like, because we were talking about earlier with the exclusives that you were getting on PS3 early, like Heavenly Sword, you got no sequels. And that's the same thing that's happening on Xbox One right now. You got Sunset Overdrive. These games, you got Rise, Son of Rome. You get no sequel to these games.
You know why? Because these games either didn't sell well, they don't want to invest in them.
Yeah, I mean,
they gave them up to the PC so fucking quickly, it was insane.
It's for me, there were 5 games for which I would have wanted to buy an Xbox One. I'm like, okay, I don't like Xbox, but for these games, I'd buy an Xbox One. And you had like Skillbound, Fable, Sunset Overdrive, Cuphead, and Killer Instinct. Skillbound cancelled, Fable cancelled, Cuphead and Killer Instinct are sitting very nicely in my Steam library. So that's Sunset Overdrive. There's a $10 game by now in the store. Like, there's literally no reason anymore for me to buy this.
Yeah, I feel bad for Sunset Overdrive because that's like the only game that's still stuck on that console.
What it is, some kind of licensing, legal fee?
I wonder what I truly do, because I'm surprised that game of all games is still like hanging in there.
I think that game would do well on PC. I do.
Oh, that game would do well on any other console.
Yeah. Well, anything else, but yeah.
It's gonna do well on my Switch.
Well, hey, listen, we can only hope at this point. I didn't even realize Killer Instinct was on Steam. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, Killer Instinct's on Steam.
Oh, because it just got released like a month ago. That's why.
Killer Instinct, I downloaded the free-to-play last year on my PC.
No, but I mean like the actual full game is actually on.
Yeah, I could have had the full game. It was like $40 on the.
Yeah, right now.
Windows.
Yeah,
it's on the Windows 10 store exclusive. I don't know about Steam.
No, I'm looking at it right now on Steam. It's on. It literally got released September 27th.
Yeah, it launched
on Windows 10. It's been available for since the Windows 10 platform.
Yeah, but no one buys games on
I never
Windows 10
cared for the
except
fighting.
Robert.
I never cared for the fighting engine or the fighting mechanics in Killer Instinct. For me, Killer Instinct was all about that flash, all the graphics.
Mhm.
That's what got me hyped about Killer Instinct back in the day.
And
What
it,
I always liked about Killer Instinct was it was one of the first fighting games where you could actually very easily create combos. Like it had an actual nice combo system, so that was really addictive. I always thought.
it was cool once you figured out. You had to like, okay, if I do this move and do that move, oh, that's a nice little combo. Now I got to find the next move to do
To add to that.
to keep it going. And it was cool, but of course the Super NES.
Yeah, I guess outside the combo system.
I had I bought it for the Super NES. I still have it, and I was playing it last year or whatever. I got my Super NES back, and I was getting back into some of the combos with like Glacius or whatever. And I'm like, oh wow, just keep working. And next thing I know, I'm doing. I don't think I got an Ultra, but I got up to like I think like a 15 to 20 combo just from quick 10 minutes of practicing and trying different things. And it was cool, but man, that game suffered from what the arcade was like to getting on the Super NES. Because Street Fighter
Well, Super Nintendo, the N64 version was supposed to be the arcade perfect,
the N64
and they totally botched that thing. And I was like, "What is this?"
I rented that at Blockbuster, and I was like, "Are you kidding?" I totally expected arcade perfect port, and it wasn't even close.
Yeah, I was totally underwhelmed.
I didn't mind the free to play on PC. Like, I think I might even still have it installed. And you get one character, and then it changes every month or two, whatever that you can pick. It's like, this isn't bad. You get to play the arcade mode, so you just pick one character. That's all you can pick, and then you can play through the arcade, so you can play against all the other characters. And I was like, this isn't bad, but fighting games just don't hold the attention.
The way they used to, anyway, for sure.
You got it. Fighting games were just when your buddies are over and you're sitting there. That's when fighting games are great. I remember Dead or Alive 4 on the 360. I ordered that off eBay. This woman in Ohio, which isn't that far, from me. It should have been a one day. Like 2 weeks later, I'm like, hey, you're gonna ship the damn game? And then like 2 days later, I got it. Like she completely forgot to ship it, and I get it. And my buddy, like he was Ryu, I think, from Ninja Gaiden. Is it pronounced Ryo in Ninja Gaiden?
It's Ryu. It's Ryu Hayabusa.
And he was just him. Like he's the same guy that's Little Mac every time in Smash. And we had just hours and hours of just playing against each other and just him kicking my ass. And then finally I got good with characters and had so much fun. And then like anytime he wasn't over, that game's just sitting there. Like it wasn't fun playing it without somebody else there. And that's when, I guess online can add to fighting games like that, but that's when
you're fighting faceless people.
That's when fighting games were always and will always be best played couch co-op. Like that was like I have fond memories.
Dead or Alive 5 when I bought that on the PS3, and then I was like, am I gonna get the PS4 version? Because I like Dead or Alive, partially for the wrong reasons.
I love it for all the right reasons. Was it Christy?
I
The Jiggly bits, man.
The one that has like, is that the one
She
like
had the white
Texan?
shirt, white hair, I think.
Oh, you're talking about? Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah,
that's why everybody liked Dead or Alive, at least initially, and then you realize,
I mean, Dead or Alive is pretty fun as a fighting game.
Yeah. Really good fighting game.
Yeah, I mean, you came in for the Jigglies, and then you realize it was good.
And then that's when you start playing the beach ball game.
And I ain't gonna lie. That's one of my favorite guilty pleasure movies is Dead or Alive. It's so ridiculous, but God, I love it.
I forgot that's a movie.
Yeah, for the ladies.
I have it on DVD.
Oh, you don't have it on Blu-ray?
Nope, I didn't upgrade. It's one of those true guilty pleasures. Like you just got to know. It's almost best to watch with somebody and you're just laughing at it the whole time.
No, that's not.
Well, it is a terrible film, but Andy.
Oh, I forgot Dead or Alive is a free-to-play game now on Steam.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, the core version is you can buy the full game for $40.
Cosplay.
DOA go back to Sega Saturn, man.
You can never buy Dead or Alive full version for $40.
Yeah, listen, I bought the PS3 version, so I can't. I bought the original Dead or Alive 5 on the PS3, so I can't say anything.
But like all 5,000 costumes and shit.
Oh, I didn't buy the DLC. Now I just bought
so
the
it's
main
not
game.
the full game.
I don't think 4 had DLC. This was my favorite. I'm sending it to you guys. This is my favorite outfit with. I
bet you're gonna give me some shit that isn't. Of course, it's like this flat-chested bitch. I fucking knew it.
Damn, got the flat
She had the best
I want
fighting
some
style too. She had like the crane fighting style.
Man, where's my Kasumi? Where's my Kasumi pictures, man? Fuck this.
I like this
What
girl.
in the world is going on?
But anyway,
this is
We
no
should probably,
shame.
let's
That's
just
what this
wrap
is.
thing up. We're gotten way off. Let's do final thoughts this week though. Let's start with Robert since you haven't said much. You watch any movies?
He's been depressed for a while.
I watched Blade Runner a few more times. I saw Only the Brave early actually, and that was really
Who's
good.
in that?
It's with Miles Teller, Josh Brolin.
Oh yeah.
Fireman. Dude, it's sad. It's a damn sad
That's
movie.
the firefighting one.
Yeah, the firefighter one, and that was really good. Comes out this week, and then Happy Death Day I thought it was okay. I saw The Foreigner. I actually didn't really like it, to be honest.
Nah.
Is that Pierce Brosnan and Jackie Chan?
Yeah.
Now, is it true that Jackie Chan's like not in it a whole lot?
Dude, he did it for half of the movie. It's so
That's
bizarre.
what I hear.
It's so bizarre. Like I was like, wait a minute, that makes no
How's
sense.
my boy Pierce? I have about Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really care for it.
Okay, no sense.
He's good. He's good at it. He's totally good. But like, I wasn't interested, to be honest. And I mean, and then this week, apparently I got a early screening to Jumanji. I might just check it out.
It'll come out next year.
Dude, but it comes out in 2 months. I could see it on Thursday. That's pretty.
They're already done with
that.
it. Wow. You don't. Not too often. They just. I mean, yeah, every once in a while they'll hold a movie to try to find a good release window, but a lot of times they're just finishing the movie like during the premiere. They finish it that day.
That movie
Like
gonna be trash.
That movie?
But,
I mean, maybe.
I'm kind of down
sure
on
it's
the
gonna be
Rock
garbage.
now.
Rock is just taking paychecks. I don't blame him.
The Rock has never been good as an actor. I'm going to throw that out there.
He's had a couple good roles that fit him pretty well, but
It's because he's not really he's like a wrestler. He acts like he wrestles,
He's an actor the way.
That's why I say he's an actor.
Yeah, he's an actor the way Arnold Schwarzenegger's an actor.
Mhm.
You're there for the spectacle. You're not there.
Jackie Chan looks like his performance was pretty good in this Foreigner, though.
Oh no, it is. It totally is. But it's like when you're in it for half of it, and you're on the poster, and you're all of the trailer. It's like, wait a minute.
Well, they got to sell it overseas, man. That's what they do. That's how they do.
Maybe he's in. Maybe
they sell it in China.
Well, it's been selling pretty damn good overseas too.
That's
so.
exactly my point.
Well,
That's exactly.
It's good to see him back in like a legit action movie that's taken more seriously, I guess.
I don't know how many rated R movies Jackie Chan's even done. Like that's he usually always joking, like he punched somebody and he's like, "Oh, it hurts my hand." Like he's always trying to make you laugh.
No,
that's
his
real dark school stuff.
That's not new for Jackie Chan. Like people, attribute him with all the comedy stuff. But the problem is like he was coming up right around the time, right after Bruce Lee died, basically, and so they were trying to push him into Bruce Lee type of movies. And it just didn't work for him. So he went a completely other route. So it's not like he can't do like more serious stuff. He just hasn't done it because he kind of got typecast into more the comical stuff.
He also said he wanted to bring like fun stuff to these. All those other movies were trying to be super serious, and like he wanted to make it fun.
I can get that. And I mean, it like I said. I mean, maybe some people like it. I kind of only really like the Jackie Chan parts, to be honest. Everyone else, it was kind of boring in a way, to be honest.
I have a soft spot for Pierce Brosnan because I feel like he got wronged.
Yeah, no, I think he's good in it, but the actual plot of it, I didn't really care for.
Have you ever seen The November Man? Though that was pretty bad.
No, I haven't.
That's pretty bad. I like Olga Kurylenko or whatever. I loved her in a lot of movies. That movie, it was. I'm going to pull you around. You're going to be a damsel in distress this whole movie and have no usefulness at all. And I'm just like, I think that was her last Hollywood film. She's like, I
keep hoping they bring him out the same way they did, oh my gosh, the James Bond. Help me out here. Sean Connery, right. In 83, he came back to do Never Say Never Again, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he was like, older then. Obviously, he was a lot older. And I keep hoping that happens to Pierce, where he gets just one more movie as James Bond.
Didn't they just pay Daniel Craig like $100 million or something to do?
Yeah, something like that.
Sony doesn't have any other movie. They have no other franchise that makes them money.
He didn't want to do it anymore, and they gave him some motivation.
Zi Zhang from Rush Hour 2 and Crouching Tiger. I haven't seen her in forever. I had a huge crush on her. I don't know if she's done any movies lately, but somebody in the chat just brought her up. She was pretty good. But anyway, Terrell, final thoughts?
I'm gonna casually mention some movie stuff here because I noticed it's relevant. Don't get excited, Robert.
Blade Runner, you watched it?
It's not anything. It's not something you're gonna care about, but it's something I saw on the Go Nintendo earlier. Oh. Apparently, they're gonna start filming that Pikachu movie.
Oh yeah, of course I'm gonna watch that, dude. I'm gonna.
And to be fair, because I think right now it's the guy who directed Goosebumps is directing this. But the writers,
it's live action.
Yeah, it's live action. It's live action with probably some CG in it.
Okay.
The one thing that's kind of saving it for me is like the script is from Nicole Pierman, who apparently is writing the Captain Marvel script, which is not saying a lot because we haven't seen the film. But the other person, Alex Hirsch, is the dude who did Gravity Falls, which if anyone's seen that cartoon, the cartoon's on some god tier shit. So I think at least
Gravity Falls.
Yeah, Gravity Falls.
Oh, I love Gravity Falls, man.
I'm looking for it. So the script, if nothing else, the script should be good. I'm just hoping the Goosebumps dude at least does okay, because this could be some good shit. It's
Goosebumps is good too. I enjoyed that movie, so
it's all right. I don't mind it, but I'm just a little, this is Pokemon's first live action debut. It's kind of a weird movie in itself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a little concerned.
Good pedigree there.
But to be fair, Gravity Falls is very mystery oriented too. So
it's perfect. I was gonna say that's perfect for what they're trying to do.
So it worked. I think the script is fine. I'm just concerned about that fucking the actors and actresses. That's what I'm concerned about.
That could totally botch the whole situation. Because they'll sometimes they'll be in a different movie than what the director wants. They'll be hamming it up and whatnot. So.
Yeah, and they don't really need to do this. I mean, it's weird because Pokemon doesn't usually have this kind of pseudo-serious tone. That's why I'm a little concerned that people are going to try to ham it up because it's Pokemon related, so we have to be goofy and animated.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. Yeah.
So that's my main concern. But I'm going to just leave it simply as that. I'm not going to go into anything because Fire Emblem Friday, which I am getting at. I'm very tempted to take off work, which I might because I only got 7 days to play it. So.
7 days.
Oh yeah, 7 days to play it because what's gonna happen is next Friday's gonna come out. I'm gonna get this casual message with Juice's photo of him holding Mario Odyssey, and then we're not gonna hear from him for 4 days and shit.
I took that Monday off.
You ready? You gonna be ready to talk about Juice's Loose podcast, Mario Odyssey edition?
That's what I was gonna buy
play the game.
So I'm gonna buy Fire Emblem Warriors and then get a phone call. 7 days. How have you got that reference? It's not that deep, so you should get the reference.
I'm lost in some Dead or Alive 5 Christie video.
I
didn't hear what you said.
I was making a joke about how I had 7 days to play Fire Emblem Warriors because I know the next Juice's Loose podcast after Odyssey comes out is going to be all about Odyssey. So if I don't play Odyssey during the weekend, it's going to get ruined.
Oh, yeah, you better play that.
Yeah, that's easy. This is like, don't come on this fucking podcast if you ain't play Odyssey.
Smash through the initial campaign. And
for Odyssey, I want to take like the whole weekend of work off just to play it, but we'll see.
Well, it's not like you have any responsibilities with your money or anything, so you should be fine.
There's a little salt in that.
Forget Super Mario Odyssey. I might be getting Dead or Alive 5 from the PS4.
Oh my god!
Just get it on PC, Juice.
Just get the beach volleyball.
It's on PC.
Yeah, it's on PC.
Don't need the beach volleyball this game because
you really don't. Just get it on PC. That's all you need to do.
Beach volleyball. Get the graphics.
Wait, you're talking about Dead or Alive 4 or 5?
5.
Yeah, it's on PC.
Get some VR beach.
It might give me a reason to buy the game then.
Yeah.
That game didn't come out over here, did it? Beach volleyball?
No, yeah, the beach
I
volleyball.
watched
Oh no, it didn't. Yeah,
that
No.
Pamela Horton video. It's like it's just blatant. Like, oh, this chick's laying in bed. Now you're a photographer, and you can.
Like, you think, and they know exactly who the audience is, and they don't give a fuck.
I think it's Sarkeesian. Where you at?
She's over there. She's over there with a vibrator, man. That's what she's doing.
Oh my gosh. We're off the rails. We are off the rails. Essentially.
All right, Retro Death. Final thoughts.
I'll just stick it with the movies too, I guess, because I saw a movie that I really liked. Like, it's not a movie from this year though. Like, I won't spoil the show, but The Flash started again, and The Flash has Danielle Pennebaker, I think you say it, and I think she's so fucking hot. So I looked her up to see what else she did, and I saw that in 2014 she did a movie 2 years ago, which was played with like time paradoxes and shit, which is my favorite thing in movies. And the movie was called Time Lapse, and that was like the greatest movie I've seen, second greatest movie I've seen this year. That was such a good movie, where they find like a machine that takes a picture 24 hours in the future always. It's such a good fucking movie.
What's your first
character from Flash?
My first favorite movie for this year still is What Happened to Monday.
Okay.
What
That was released this year, like 2 months ago, I think, on Netflix.
what character from Flash though?
She's
technically
the freezing chick. Damn it, I forgot her name now.
She's
Oh,
not.
it's just the Snow Girl.
Yeah.
Really? She was in the Friday the 13th remake.
Was she?
I haven't seen
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Oh
she
my
doesn't. I don't know.
I've
Caitlin's
known her for Disney Channel shit.
Nobody saw that movie.
Actually, it's definitely worth watching for one scene in particular. If you've seen it,
I've primarily known her for Disney Channel stuff. That's why I recognized her.
it's one of the most like I don't know how to put it, but there's like 3-4 minutes of just blatant nudity in the
Fucking knew it.
the actors. like,
Well, yeah. I mean,
the dialogue is the dude just talking about how amazing her boobs are this whole time, and it's just
I'm fucking done with it all, man.
funny
the
because-
demographics of the Juices Loose is like total sausage fest.
but it's just like here's this horror movie and like here's this sex scene that goes on longer than any movie I've ever seen, and the whole time this dude's just like, you just have perfect nipple placement. Like it's just
What in the
ridiculous.
world
It's
is going
ridiculous.
on in my life?
But
It's hilarious.
it's not a bad, like it's way better than the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot. Like,
Well, that's not saying a whole lot.
it's
That
not,
was utter
it's not
trash.
bad at all. It's actually pretty decent, I think.
Yeah.
It's probably the best Friday the 13th movie. I mean, I would say it's for sure the best.
Actually, just
Better than
watched,
Jason Takes Manhattan. Come on.
because you're talking about horror movies now. I actually just watched 2 days ago, I think maybe the new Chucky movie, which was really fucking good considering the last like 3 were kind of shit.
When was the
new
last
Chucky
one?
movie?
The last one
the-
wasn't the last one, the seated Chucky.
Yeah, no.
Right at Chucky. When he started
yeah,
doing
the
all
first
that Chucky in the
was before
hood.
this one.
I was that Child's Play stresses me out as a series because I watched that series way too young, and now I can't properly enjoy
I
that.
get
series
so
at all.
mad. He's like a 1-foot doll. Just step on him.
Next week is
Why you just get frustrated as a tall dude? He's like, what the fuck? Just kick him.
next week is also Jigsaw. I know you're
Yeah,
probably excited for
yes.
that. Yeah, I know
Fuck
you're
yes.
excited for that, Retro.
I seen the first trailer for it yesterday, or I think it was before Blade Runner. I'm
I
like,
couldn't
come
care
on.
less.
Yeah,
I'm so over that franchise.
I couldn't care
Come
less
on,
after
man.
the second one. I tried
Yeah.
watching the third one. I'm like, I'm
Saw
done.
2 was the end for me. It's like I
You
couldn't
can't
anymore.
try to have. I don't know. They probably gave up on trying to have that surprise.
trying to be
shocking
too
ending.
clever.
The ending, you know. But
For Halloween, just see it. It is just.
It turned into Lost. It was just like it was just fun.
so let's see. T. Final thoughts.
Well, I guess I'll keep the movie thing going, but I haven't. I don't want to talk about movies. I want to talk about trailers. I saw Black Panther trailer. It's flipping
Nice.
amazing. I
Yep.
loved it. It was great. I watched it 20 times, no lie, back to back to back. And Star Wars though didn't do much for me. I'm gonna watch the movie. I'm gonna see it, but that trailer. What? See, listen, young.
That trailer is so
young
good.
millennial. Listen, young millennial. Here's my problem with Star Wars, and I'm getting a little worried after watching this trailer. Is we got The Force Awakens,
Yeah.
and it was basically a soft reboot of A New Hope, right? And I'm looking at this trailer, and it totally feels like
Empire.
a reboot of Empire Strikes Back. I'm like, nope. If you do that to me, if I go in the theater and that happens, we get another reboot of an old Star Wars movie, I will rage.
Yeah, you got Leia.
Right. I'm
the
worried.
big door. She's standing there by herself, looking out like when they were waiting for Luke to come back.
And I just thought that whole Leia sequence where it looks like he's about to blow her up was not cool. Not a good look.
And why show that in the trailer?
Why you put that in the trailer? I just didn't. I felt uneasy watching that. It just bothered me because
to be
she's
fair,
no longer with us.
People can be very creative with trailers. Who knows that those scenes are actually connected to
I'd
each
be
other?
even more.
I'm sure they're not. But here's the thing: if they're not, it makes it even worse. Because it's like you're playing with blowing up this lady who we know is already passed in the real world, and it just didn't feel right to me. So, but like I said, I'm gonna watch the movie. I'm hoping it's gonna be a great one. But I don't know. I'm a little bit down on Star Wars.
And Ryan, we trust.
And I don't want this to be another reboot movie. But anyway, Mario Galaxy. Mario Odyssey is not the only greatness coming out next week. Fools. You might have heard of this little show called Stranger Things. It's also dropping. I'm very excited for that.
So I'm gonna get Netflix back. Damn it.
Go watch Mr. Robot.
You don't have Netflix. Yeah, so that's coming as well. It's gonna be great.
Show.
Next week, you also got a Walking Dead.
The trailer for that looked great too. So
yeah, forget frickin' It. Just watch Stranger Things.
What? No, but It is so good.
It looks like
what's cool is he pulls out the wrist rocket. The black kid, I can't remember his name. Totally reminded me of that scene in It. So I was like, oh, that's cool.
What the fuck?
But that's a great show.
Yeah, it's a great show.
So I went to the movies too. First time since Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And I saw Blade Runner 2049. As someone who's only seen the original once all the way through, I've seen it bits and pieces on TV. I just recently saw the end on Sci-Fi with Rutger Hauer spouting nonsense.
There's 30 versions of it. So
yeah, I definitely want to rewatch the re-release where they remastered. I guess it looks really incredible for being how
the final cut. Yeah, the final cut.
They remastered, for 4K, and then obviously there's a Blu-ray version. And
is that laughable voiceover track in it?
No,
I'm not sure.
Awful. Not.
It's
all
awful.
I can say about Blade Runner 2049 is if you just appreciate filmmaking, like it's everything you could ever want. Now, if you're one of those people that just wants to go to a movie and have dumb entertainment for an hour and a half to 2 hours, it's not for you. Like you have to just appreciate, be a fan of films and movies, not just I want to go laugh for an hour and a half with a crowd and next day I won't even remember the movie. Like I was gonna rent Baby Driver and I forget what other movie like this weekend. Once I saw Blade Runner, I was like, I just got to think about this movie for a while. Like I don't even want to see another movie until I see this movie again. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's so good. It's always in my head.
God, it's like Robert hinted at. I see a future for HoloLens. I see an application that they show in this. It's not HoloLens in the movie, but he's got a HoloLens. This isn't a spoiler. Let's just say there's an AI companion chick.
Oh, it's crazy.
And like she's projected over another woman. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
That needs to happen.
It blew my mind. I was like, oh my god.
And let me just say, that woman that plays that role is just stunning.
Crazy attractive.
And she's really good, like actress-wise.
Cortana?
Oh yeah. This is like if Cortana was like real, it'd be this girl. Like this girl's just gorgeous, but it's just a fantastic movie. And you don't have to be a fan of the original. Probably if you just saw a quick synopsis of the original, it'd be enough to have a good idea. And it's just
how much is Harrison Ford in it?
Oh, he's in it way later in the movie, though.
I'd say 45 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
I guess it's over 2 hours. It didn't feel like much over 2 hours, but I guess it's like 2.
It's 2 hours and 43 minutes.
Really?
Yeah,
It felt
that's
like
no
it
joke.
felt like 2 hours.
Good for
Max.
them. Good for them.
Yeah, it's 2 hours 43 minutes.
Is it?
That's ballsy
Yeah, I'm not
to do
joking.
today.
Really? I did not even notice it. Like I said, it felt like
Dude,
right
it
around
feels
the
way
2 hours.
quicker. It feels way
It's
quicker.
crazy. It's got good flow. It stays true to the source material, but unlike Force Awakens, it doesn't just copy the movie. Like it doesn't. It definitely feels like the same
It
world,
retreads a
but
little bit.
you know, I haven't seen the original in a few years now, so I can't say 100%. It's not. It just feels like definitely its own movie, but set in that same world. It's the most appropriate feeling like sequel of any movie. Like Terminator 2, right up there with like sequels as far as
Oh my gosh.
it goes beyond. Even though Terminator 2 does kind of rehash, you know, you got Terminator hunting Sarah Connor and stuff, but it doesn't even have that type of rehash. But it's just, I was so blown away, and I hate hyping up something for somebody and then them being disappointed. But God,
It's amazing.
All the ingredients are there with the
It's
director and everything. So
yeah, that director. If he was directing episode 9 and I knew they gave him freedom,
That'd be awesome.
I would be so excited for episode 9 Star Wars.
Yeah, that'd be fantastic.
Because God, it's just he has such good attention to detail.
he's just like he's doing his thing in the wrong decade. That's the problem. It's like if he was around doing his thing like 10, 20 years ago, maybe he'd be a lot more out there and more accolades. But just I don't know about today's audience. And
it's just a shame to see the box office results for this movie, but when just a bunch of trash movies
yeah.
do so much better. And I can't believe they spent $150 million. Like, I guess in the actors they got and the set designs, they created lots of sets, but still, and there's a lot of CG, but it still feels like I don't know. It feels like they could have done it for cheaper, but
I bet they're probably banking on, word of mouth. They're probably not banking on box office as much as they're banking on like Blu-ray sales.
And hopefully, like China.
Because that's what happened with the first one. Everybody loved Blade Runner. No, it didn't do well. The original didn't do well either. It just word of mouth, and when it came on TV, that's when it got the audience.
They said with inflation, the original would have done like 70-something million with inflation at the box office, and they're saying this will do between 80 and 100 million at just domestic. So it's a great movie. It's just not reinvigorated, but it just, when you're like watch a bunch of bad movies or Hollywood, assembly line type movies, like watching a movie like this just really reminded me like why I love movies in the first place.
I totally agree. It's like that and War for the Planet of the Apes. Those two are like just such masterpieces.
Good call. Yeah.
So it's just like, if you have a true love for movies, I'm just saying you should go see this movie, especially if you like sci-fi. Like, get
up off your behind and go see it in the theater.
And it's not your typical sci-fi. It's not like space. Like, it's not too far.
It's smart science fiction.
It's like on Earth sci-fi, and and like I said, that Halo lens, they need that application, because that could be awesome, because they make a real girl look like any girl you want.
It's like when you were a kid, you saw all these futuristic movies and stuff, and they got you really excited about the future.
Yeah, technologies like that.
And it's so good because they made a good relationship between him and the HoloLens sort of person, you could say. Like, it's so crazy. Like, you understand where he's going.
And watching that episode 8 trailer, I got none of that from the trailer. Like,
none of it. Yeah.
I'm to the point now where I just got to accept the fact that in my opinion, there's only one great Star Wars movie, and that's just a fact. It's
brutal.
Not going to change.
Damn, one.
The rest are good. The rest are 2 are good, or we'll say 3 others are good, and the rest are below average. So I guess I just got to come to that fact and just live with it. I've seen every single one in the theater, though. So
me too.
I feel there's only 2 bad ones: Episode 2 and Rogue One.
Rogue One, you think is bad? Wait, so you like?
Man, we think Rogue One is trash. We already went over this. We don't need to start the whole podcast.
Yeah, the whole prequels are bad, and Force Awakens to me is below average. So anyway, thanks for everybody for tuning into this movie talk. Deadpool 2 just finished wrap on filming, so that's sweet. I'm not super excited. That's one of my favorite superhero movies, but just sequels to me, I'm always just never as excited for sequels.
I think Deadpool's different though, because you got the origin story, and now he can be freer to do more Deadpoolish stuff. So it could be really good. It could be,
or it could be these jokes work. Let's try them again.
Yeah,
you know. And I gotta say, what's his face that's playing Cable? He looks pretty awesome in costume.
Yeah,
I'm actually still salty that Ron Perlman didn't get that role.
Cable.
Yeah, he might be just a little bit too old.
Yeah, Josh Brolin in the full outfit. I'm like, yeah, that's a perfect fit.
Yeah,
it looks right. But anyway,
he was perfect.
Thanks for listening, everybody. We covered a lot of random things here. Got a little bit of a debate again over NBA, but it was good. Good talking with you guys, and of course, I didn't think we'd have anything to talk about. Now we're at 2.5 hours, or hour and 2:20. It always happens. So, thanks for everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. And who knows what news will come out? Something major could be announced, and we'll be here to cover it. So, we'll see you next week.